Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Joel Moran and I'm here with Riv and Joel, Velez, and Joel Dehls. And this is now episode 426. In this episode, we're going to give our Week 10 NFL takeaways. Because moving forward, we have been doing our NFL Pick'em episodes on Friday. We will be previewing Thursday night's matchup between the Eagles and the Commanders on this show as well, and talk about some NBA stuff going on around the league. How are you guys feeling today?
I'm doing pretty great. I had an elite week of pick'ems. Amazing week. Finished at the top spot. Mr. Dehls over here to my right, unfortunately, didn't have the best of weeks, and neither did Mr. Tortorelli. Both of them won 8 games. I won 11. Now John and I are tied, and Mr. Dehls is only 1 spot ahead of me. Now, I want to give some flowers to Mr. Moran. You've been locked in these last few weeks.
I've been going
You've
crazy.
You've been slowly but surely climbing up. You're 3 behind me. That's only because I had a good week, but you were on my tail. You were down 2 coming into this week. You got to lock in.
What am I, like 3 behind you?
I think 2 to 3. I came in the week 2 behind you. Dehls and John had a sizable lead. But, this was the week that Dehls decided to be a little safe and we took risks.
We did take
real
risks.
Men. And, Dehls is sitting cozy, not really that much, with the top spot. He might just tail us for the rest of the season. That's what I'm thinking.
I like giving the people some drama. Me just going with this like a 15-game lead rest of the year wouldn't have been any fun. So I was like, you know what? Let me do a couple silly things. Let me bet on Daniel Jones and the Jets and shit. So to get you guys back in, I don't want you to check out. You know what I mean?
Mr. Favorites over here. It led him astray this past week.
No, yeah, listen, the Panthers beating the Giants, that was one that I was on the fence about.
Thank you.
Yeah, Riv convinced you to take them. And, the Panthers are playing well. Bryce Young has some confidence. The Jets and Cardinals didn't expect the Jets to lose like that. And the Cardinals really whipped them.
Bro, that's what I forgot.
What?
I'm wearing my Caruso jersey.
You
I was supposed to wear my K1 jersey.
Something about them Jets, man. Something about them Jets. They bring you up. And they put you right back
next week
down.
they play the Colts. I'm like, fuck, man. They could win against the Colts. Like,
No, it was one of the worst performances I've ever seen from the Jets. And that's saying a lot. But yeah.
Worst defense you've ever seen in your life with the Jets.
The Jets always have a good defense.
But the year that Saleh took over, I feel like that's just like...
that was a terrible defense.
It was terrible. We had no talent on that defense. Like none.
The Jets are dead last in DVOA since firing Robert Saleh.
Yeah, I know. This defense is not good. Kyler Murray completed 90% of his passes. The Cardinals on every meaningful within the game drive scored on every single one. Even when we had like a third and manageable, Trey McBride breaks a tackle from Sauce and then goes like 10, 15 yards down the field.
It was on who?
Sauce?
Who did? Sauce is like top 5 in terms of missed tackle rate this season.
Sauce is
I don't
top
know if
5
it's
in
corners.
ass. He's been ass this year.
Tell bro, get off Twitch.
Is he a solid merchant? Is that what's going on?
No,
He's just not having Sauce by all accounts is having like a top 15 corner season. It's
Not
just
top
he's
3.
been a top 2 dude for the last 2 years, So when he's having a down year, it's like
falling
holy
off
shit.
in year 3 is fake crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's falling off. I think it's just a bad year.
I think you start your career 2 All-Pros. We're putting you in conversations with
Darrell
some,
Revis.
yeah, no,
That's
you're
what
doing
the
some elite
conversation
shit.
was.
That's why when you fall off, even if it's by a sizable, a small margin, a drop off like this to the public is going to be pretty large. So it's been unfortunate to watch, bro, be mid.
The thing with Sauce is that the biggest concern is just the missed tackles. And I feel like that's the big thing. He's just missing tackles.
Bro, I feel like you're the one putting out the negative energy. Bro keeps saying locked on Jets every single week.
because we talk about the Jets every week.
I understand, but
that's just the intro of the show. But in coverage, I mean, DJ Reed was getting cooked. He was the one that's getting fried.
he was having a bad
flambéed.
game.
And it's like Sauce Gardner at that point. I just wanted him to shadow somebody, but that's just not the Jets scheme. The Jets are just dysfunctional. But that was one of the upsets. The Cardinals were underdogs in that game,
Before we move on
surprisingly.
real quick, have you heard the latest rumor of the Jets head coaching search?
Rex Ryan?
Rex Ryan, but a different one.
Deion Sanders?
John Gruden.
Oh, I did hear about that.
John Gruden is the latest rumor to be the next head coach of the Jets.
That's not very nice.
Got me
Was it Deion
feeling
Sanders?
nice.
That's not nicey.
I
They're
think
gonna
it's
welcome
nicey.
him back to the league.
I think he'll get another job at some point. What with the Jets or not? I don't know.
Oh yeah. Okay.
This
That would be a very Jets thing to do,
it's
honestly.
an unserious operation going on. And then the other upsets, the Dolphins over the Rams.
Mm-hmm.
That one shocked me for sure.
I guess that was an upset.
Yeah,
because the Rams have been, I guess record-wise better.
Patriots over the Bears.
Yes, over the Bears.
I mean, that was the
Bears are
most.
Kicked me out of my survivor pool.
God damn.
That I may have to drop him after that shit. I can hate him.
Hey, listen.
Because the other games were like, they were upsets, obviously. A lot of them were close, right? Like the Cardinals and Jets, I think it was like a 1 or 2 point spread. Miami game was like 3-point spread. That Bears game, though, I thought it was going to be competitive, right? Because we were talking like kind of joking, like, oh, let's take the Patriots, Drake May, haha. But I was not expecting New England to dominate this game. If anything, I thought like they squeak it out, game-winning field goal at the end just because they keep it close. But beginning to end, dominate both sides of the ball.
I was watching, I'm just like, all right, this is the drive.
This is the drive. Because, it's like a one-possession game for damn near the whole time. It's like, all right, let's get something going. They go like fucking 1 for 14 on third down.
I wasn't surprised at all.
I was watching that game so straight-faced. I was so mad. Just like, please, anything.
Hey, Drake May look good.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
I mean, Drake May is awesome.
The other guy.
I just feel like
He may get dropped
We'll
from
talk
the team.
about we'll talk about Shane,
We really might have to put
Caleb.
there's nothing surprising about the Bears offense and the lack of production. Like the Cardinals went in there and they got like 30 plus pressures on Caleb, and that's not even a team that generates that many pressures per
They
week.
fired, what's the name?
Shane Waldron.
Yeah, they fired him.
We're gonna talk about that as well, but yeah, their offensive operation is just a joke. But there are some things that Caleb's doing wrong too. So
Yeah.
we'll definitely talk about that. But yeah, Prize Picks is supporting the podcast, and we'll get more into them when we do our Commanders and Eagles preview. We're going to preview the game, then give you our Prize Pick plays for that game. But if you guys want to support us, you guys can go to Prize Picks and use code PAS. And if you play $5, you get $50. Prize Picks, very fun, easy interface to use. Make sure you guys check it out and support the podcast. And remember to play responsibly. Week 10 NFL takeaways. We each have 2 to 3 games jotted down, a takeaway take question from the games that we saw. Riv, what's something that you have?
I think for me, the first one I had that I circled, it was just a name, Bryce Young. That was the one that because I'm thinking about it, right? This man last year, awful, terrible, not good, right.
Bad situation.
Sure.
On top of being bad.
Comes into this year, terrible, awful, not good.
Horrendous.
Gets benched, and benching a quarterback this early into his career, a top 2 pick, it can do multiple things to him. It can cause him to really just be depressed, be done with the game. It can cause him to lose that edge, or it can light a little bit of a fire under him, right? He gets benched. Andy Dalton comes in, plays cool, like nothing too advanced, but plays cool. The offense looks better. Then Bryce gets his job back. And since Bryce has got his job back, he's looked fine. He's looked, at times,
cute,
really good. He's looked really good. So my takeaway from that is just basically like, maybe Bryce figured it out. Maybe the way how we look at AR and his situation, maybe he, like, looking at Bryce's situation, how he got benched because he was terrible, how Andy Dalton came in, played well. Maybe he didn't show him stuff that we've seen, but maybe he did show him a little things on the field, show him a little things in the locker room. Now Bryce is playing. He's playing a lot better. The offense has some bright spots in their young receivers that they have. Maybe looking at this now, we're thinking of Bryce. Maybe he may not be the franchise quarterback like they want, but maybe he's going in that right direction. Maybe he's going in that step moving forward that we wanted him to do it. For a Carolina team that kind of needs that edge, needs that juice at the quarterback spot, I think it's important for Bryce. I mean, he was getting, with respect, he kind of deserved it, but he was getting a lot of shit on his game, how he couldn't see over the offensive line. He was making bad decisions, bad throws. The accuracy was just piss poor. He's looked a lot better. So, my takeaway is just Bryce Young being benched is probably the best thing that's ever happened to him, because now he looks much better than what he's looked like in the previous games.
Yeah, absolutely. I was cautiously optimistic, I guess is the best way to put it for Bryce Young, because typically when you play that bad and you get benched, you sometimes don't even get another shot. Yeah. And especially with the same team, you usually don't get a shot. Of course, Andy Dalton ends up getting a car crash. He sprains his thumb. Now Bryce Young's played really well the last couple weeks. Still a couple throws he missed, but overall you got to like the confidence at a minimum that you've seen, because, I mean, when he got benched and you look at him in like post-game press conferences, him interviews, he just looks like completely deflated at that point, right? He looked like he did not even want to be part of the team, right? And I mean that in like a not being a bad teammate way, but just it felt like all the confidence he had from Alabama being the number 1 overall pick, all of the swagger he had was just completely depleted. So it's good to see him now, be able to put a couple of games together.
Give some love to Bryce, no doubt, but Chuba Hubbard is 3rd in the league in rushing. He's been pretty phenomenal.
crazy.
Who's better, him or Kyron Williams?
Kyron.
Chuba's the fucking dog too. I think they kind of their styles are similar.
You're taking Chuba? Straight face Chuba?
I think he has more physical traits.
Brother,
He's much faster
This
than him.
Rams
He's bigger than him.
O-line is due. It's
I understand
bad.
that. They also have Stafford, though.
Agreed, and even Stafford struggling.
Yeah, but he takes pressure off of the rushing attack just a little bit.
But even still, like I've seen, it was the game versus Seattle. Kyron might have had 150 yards, if not for like 6 holding penalties, which obviously that's what leads to a huge run. That's fair. But Lord have mercy, there's no discipline. They cannot block. He's getting met with pressure almost instantaneously, and he has to do a lot of maneuvering at the line of scrimmage to even get anything positive. That's one thing. I love Kyron. He's still a beast in the passing game. Come goal line, he's getting in. But Chuba Hubbard, I want to give him his love. Just got his contract. He goes out there and he balls against the Giants. He's been one of the most consistent options for them. And you and I were talking about it when Bryce came back. We were worried about how consistent he would be given how awesome he was when Andy Dalton was in there. And these last couple of weeks, he hasn't missed a beat. And that also goes in part with Bryce Young playing a lot better, but also Chuba Hubbard still being that staple. I'll just go right into mine because we spoke about it a little bit prior in the intro. Kyler Murray had a historic game, 22 of 24. He had 17 straight completions, which was the franchise record for the Arizona Cardinals. He had 126.7 passer rating. But that also pairs in with the Jets defense being horrendous. Now, in weeks 1 through 5 with Robert Saleh, they averaged 17 points per game. They were allowing 17 points per game, 256 yards a game, and had 6 takeaways. Since he's been gone, 26 points per game, 349 yards a game, and only 1 takeaway. Excuse me. The Jets defense has allowed the highest EPA per play and the second most points since he's been fired. What is there to be positive about with this Jets team? Joel and I, you were talking about it yesterday on the Fantasy Reaction. He said he's happy. I'm happy. I don't have to worry about the Jets at all rest of the season. I don't have to root for them. I don't have to root. There's nothing that I have tied to them because they've already shown me who they are. And that's so well said. One of my main critiques on them early on was I was worried about the defense, mainly because the rush defense was so poor. Little did I know that it would carry over into the pass defense now because they're trying to overcommit to try and stop the run, that now the pass is getting torched. And Kyler Murray, got to give him his love because I feel like we've been so wishy-washy on him this season. Early on, we were critical. Then he has that great game against the Rams. Then he kind of gives us average performances. But then these last couple of weeks, especially starting back from that game versus the Bears, he really showed us and stepped up in that fashion. And then this week was the icing on the cake. And people may minimize it now because the Jets defense is terrible. And that's fine with me, but I want to give Kyler Murray his respect. He went out there and balled. And I look at this Arizona team, and they're a hell of a lot better than a lot of people gave them credit for coming into this season.
I wish that the Colts start Anthony Richardson next week. They play the Jets. Like, why? You want a chance to get your young quarterback some confidence, to have him grow on something. Kyler Murray just had one of his most efficient games of his career. I mean,
he just want the Jets to win,
90% of his passes. No, realistically, Joe Flacco these last 2 weeks has been fucking terrible. He has been so bad. Anthony Richardson, I legitimately think, is giving you a better chance to win right now, and I did not think that 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now you have the Jets, who, against the run, they can't tackle anybody. Against the pass, all of a sudden, these corners who have been shut down are allowing guys to get open and gain separation. This is the time to put Anthony Richardson in. We're going up against the New York Jets, right? This is the time to do it. Don't wait in a couple of weeks when you have to go up against a great opponent. Do it now. Let him build some confidence. But Shane Steichen, he knows more than me. He's going to go out there with Joe Flacco again. And the Jets the Jets defense, as terrible as it is, they'll probably be able to get a couple turnovers. So it's fucking Joe Flacco, and he's terrible. But I digress.
Like 4 interceptions. I think like 3 of them was early.
Yeah, bro. And like he had a couple other ones that were dropped in turnover-worthy plays. I mean, he's so bad.
He had 4 turnover-worthy plays in that game. He had a fumble. Well, he had 4 turnovers in general.
Yeah,
Not
he
just
threw
turnover-worthy
an
plays.
interception on a screen pass.
No, that was crazy. He
His
threw a pick
Sandy
6.
runs over.
Yeah, he threw a pick 6. Shit, I was lit. Bills, Ron Johnson.
I seen a tweet. There's no quarterback right now that's trying to stand up for Anthony Richardson more than Joe Flacco.
That's a fact.
Kyler Murray, I think his biggest area of growth is just winning within the pocket. When he was an MVP candidate in years prior, it was because of all the playmaking that he did on the move. But now he's winning within the pocket, and he's becoming a refined pocket passer. And I think that's the biggest development with the Cardinals offense. is I felt like they started off the year inconsistent, but really since I would say the Dolphins game where he led that game-winning drive and you have these connections to Marvin Harrison Jr., that offense has started to come to life, and I feel like they're dangerous. They're 6-4. I still think that defense is a little bit fake, and how they're playing, it's very scheme dependent, and they send a lot of blitzers and they try to get free rushers. And these last couple of weeks, they have been able to get pressure on bad offensive operations. You look at the Bears, they can't handle stunts or pressures at all. You look at the Jets, that's been a problem all year long. They haven't learned from it up until this point. And the Cardinals are able to feast on that. But against the Dolphins, they generated no pressure. And you saw how they just moved the ball down the field on them. The Cardinals, EPA-wise and success rate-wise, still have one of the worst defenses, but DVOA is a little bit more kind to them. They're 14th in DVOA, I believe. So the Cardinals defense, the scheme is helping it out a lot. And that's what you have to do when you have a lot of young players. To the Chuba Hubbard point I wanted to talk about, this is not updated, but it was a stat coming into this past week, coming into week 10. Chuba Hubbard, the Carolina Panthers EPA per play ranks on pass plays is 30th. On non-Chuba Hubbard running back runs, it's 29th. On Hubbard runs, there's 6 in EPA per play.
He's tough.
He is the difference between them being one of the worst offenses in the NFL and having top 10 like efficiency. He is breaking out. I am glad he got paid, and it doesn't hurt to have good players. Like, people were, this hurts Jonathan Brooks so much. It's like, maybe for your fantasy team, but for the Carolina Panthers, they want to have Chuba Hubbard and Jonathan Brooks. Why wouldn't you want to have a 1-2 punch? And Hubbard, he runs well, he blocks well for Bryce. I mean, that's a player you want to have on your team, and you want to reward for playing well. And he's a homegrown talent, so I had no issue with that contract whatsoever.
And Hubbard, just one more thing to add. There's only been 8 running backs this year with a positive rush EPA. It's Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry, Brian Robinson, Saquon, Bijan, James Conner, Kareem Hunt, and Hubbard. So you have like some of the best running backs in football, and Hubbard, he's been sensational.
Polar bear in there.
Respect Kareem Hunt.
It's just funny. He was on the couch like probably 4 or 5 weeks ago.
But you had to know when he was coming back home, he was gonna ball.
I could do my next takeaway. The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Fuck, you stole one of mine.
The Pittsburgh Steelers. Their offense is good. Since week 7, Russell Wilson taking over. They're 10th in EPA per play. 10th in EPA per play. 8th in drop pack EPA. Shout out to Adam, who does some great work at FTN. Russ is taking shots down the field. 17.6% of his passes been 20-plus air yards. He's first in air yards per pass. And the Steelers have scored 26 or more points in each of the last 3 games Russell Wilson has started. They also scored like 30 the week prior with Justin Fields against the Raiders. With that being said, a lot of their offense is still big play dependent, right? Like, a lot of it is still George Pickens down the field. Of course, we saw Mike Williams win one-on-one on his go ball, because success rate wise, in that same span since week 7, they're 25th in success rate. So they're not consistently generating positive plays on offense, right? There's still times they're going 3 and out. There's still times the offense stalls. But Russell Wilson has been sensational, getting these chunk plays down the field. Najee Harris as well has been ripping off some more, 10-plus yard runs than he has in weeks prior. But this offense has been something that's been basically dead for like 2 or 3 seasons, and Russ gives you some life here. Like, I was questioning whether or not you should start him, but what he's been able to do, pushing the ball down the field and more or less giving it a fuck it, George Pickens is down there somewhere. He's one of the best contested catch receivers in the NFL right now, so I don't hate it. But yeah, the Steelers offense is coming to life, had a big win over the Commanders, and they're looking like a pretty dangerous team as we enter the playoffs.
Their defense is going to keep them in the game versus anybody. And Alex Hosman, since he's come back, he's dominated the opposite edge alongside TJ Watt. He did. It's an ankle injury, so nothing too serious for his long-term outlook. Russell Wilson is much better than Justin Fields, and it's not a knock. He's a future Hall of Fame quarterback. This offense fits him perfectly. Like Sean Payton in his offense, he was trying to fit a square into a round peg hole. That's what he was trying to do with Russell Wilson. It's a timing-based offense. It's targeting the middle of the field, going through your reads. And with Arthur Smith, we're going to run the ball, we're going to roll you out, we're going to throw deep shots down the field. And that's what this offense is, and that's what's led to tremendous efficiency. In Arthur Smith's last year with Atlanta, the year second to last year, not the Desmond Ridder year, the year with Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota, before he got benched, was top 10 in EPA per play. So Arthur Smith has shown that he can get the best out of quarterbacks, and now Russell Wilson's playing really well. The most impressive play of the game was his throw to Mike Williams. He's under pressure, and
You saw
that's
Mike
the game-winning
Williams,
touchdown.
Fake through shade at y'all.
Fake.
Red
He
line.
threw shade.
Hashtag red line.
It's not fake. No, he threw shade, and it's 100% deserved. I mean, Aaron Rodgers wants to come out and call out everybody, and then you're probably the biggest culprit of the problem right now with the Jets, and he's just brought this big cloud of negativity. So good for Mike Will getting out that situation, and now he's playing well, and he doesn't have a quarterback like Russ that's going to throw him under the bus. And that's something about Russ that I think people criticize him for, but it can be a strength in some situations. Like when he was with the Broncos,
This is hard to hear. This is hard to sit through.
You saw the defensive tackle for the Broncos like yell at Russell Wilson and kind of like sun him on the sideline.
Yep.
You saw multiple occasions of Sean Payne doing it to Russell Wilson, and he just took it because I don't think he's a confrontational type of person. And with the Steelers, he has people around the organization that I would say respect him. Like Mike Tomlin actually respects him. Even though Justin Fields was playing well, he said, I'm going to go with Russ because he probably made a promise to Russ that this is your job. And when you get healthy, you're going to have a chance to win the job by playing. And he gave him that opportunity. He was a man of his word. And I feel like that's been the biggest difference. It's the scheme change with Pittsburgh. And it's also an environment where the Steelers brought Russell Wilson in, so they knew what they were getting into. Sean Payne walked into a situation where I don't want Russell Wilson as my quarterback. This isn't the guy I picked. So naturally, he wanted to start all over. And I think at the end of the day, it's worked out for both sides.
Well, piggybacking off of what Dehls said, I do have a takeaway for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's pretty simple to me. The Pittsburgh Steelers can win a playoff game. I think.
Here we go.
I think we've hit this point where we were not praying, but we were waiting on the Steelers' luck and clutch games to, go down
Another
the mud.
one-score win.
Yeah, one score, but they just continue to do it. They continue to pull it out the mud. And Joel, you said something really important. This defense will be able to keep them in games against anybody. I mean, anybody in the league, this defense will be able to keep them in game. You have Alex Highsmith, you have Joey Porter Jr., you have T.J. Watt, Minka Fitzpatrick. I mean, Cam Hayward, you got all these dudes on that defensive side that's played together. The continuity is there. Then they have Mike Tomlin, which is a vast upgrade over damn near half the league with his experience and his veteranship. I think this Steelers team, whether they're a first round, they're hosting a playoff game in Pittsburgh, I think they can sneak away a win against any of those wild card teams. Or whether they're a lower seeded, maybe they grab a Houston Texans at home, they can definitely win that game. So I think like this Steelers team is legit. I think the Steelers team is able to win a playoff game, especially with Russ the way he's playing right now. George Pickens, Mike Williams. Then you have the running back duo of Warren and Najee Harrison. This team can win a playoff game. And I think, we've been waiting on their decline, but I think we have to just come to accept that they're actually just a really good football team that's coached very well. And sometimes that's all you need.
And Warren played well. Warren was
He
really good.
finally got opportunity.
Outside of the fumble that he had in the red zone. But he was really good.
Outside of the Chiefs, Ravens, and Bills, I think they could be any other team in the AFC. Like, I think they could beat the Chargers. Just thinking about playoff teams, I think they could beat the Broncos.
They can't beat the Ravens?
I don't think so. And the playoff game comes down to it.
They be going
In a
to war with
playoff
the
game,
boys.
you're telling me Lamar Jackson has to go up against the defense? I'm hopeful. Let's go, Lamar. That's my guy. But
I think it's different, Lamar. I don't think he's about to lose
Cook.
that game.
But I also think
I think they have a puncher's chance against Baltimore and Buffalo. It's a puncher's chance.
I agree.
Punchers. Like, woo!
Because you
I'd
can
be shocked for
you
sure,
can go
but-
up against that Bills defense, get muddy with them. Najee, Warren, go off the play action and try and limit that offense as much as you can. I'm talking Steelers limiting the Buffalo Bills. I give them the puncher's chance. Of course, we favor the Bills. And then same thing with the Ravens. I think that it's a division game.
They just know them so well.
They do know them very well. The Steelers have played against Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens exceedingly well in Lamar's tenure as a quarterback. So I'd give them the puncher's chance. But again, I would favor the Ravens because they are just the better offense, definitely not the better defense.
The Steelers could beat the Ravens.
Yeah.
I mean, the Ravens' defense is not good.
No.
And the secondary is one of the worst in the NFL.
I just worry about the Steelers offense. I know it's been great with Russ and shit, but like just fucking if you don't get a deep shot to George Pickens, like what the
They
fuck
can't
you do,
score
bro?
on the Ravens?
They can because the Ravens suck. Their defense sucks. Excuse me. But it's just a lot of their plays have just been a lot of like big plays down the field that it's just hard to do that time after time after time. To score.
Najee, outside of this game, I guess, even though he did get into the end zone, if I'm not mistaken, He's been pretty solid.
Yeah, and also the Commanders
shocking the shit out of me.
Commanders put up 27 points against them too. They were.
But that was also fumble. Not fumble. Yeah, I think it was a fumble. Or the punt. They went for a fake punt.
I don't know why they did that.
That was ridiculous in their own
Shit
territory. They should have got it. You're
it.
right. They should have got it. He underthrew him. He underthrew him and he dropped it. One of the two.
He just straight up dropped.
And then they ended up having the easiest
that
field
shit was
possession.
crazy though.
So yeah, it was 27, but like
Washington's a good offense too.
Yeah,
The Steelers kept them in check.
The best offense.
They kept them in check. Like the Commanders weren't able to do much on offense pretty much the whole day. In the second half, they forced them to punt the ball multiple times. The Steelers were down 24-14 to start the second half. The Commanders drove down the field and they scored a touchdown. And then after that point, it was nothing but punts. And the Steelers turned the ball over twice. Russell Wilson had an interception and Jalen Warren fumbled at the goal line.
Yeah.
And their defense was still able to give them the ball back and then ultimately ice the game with Russ and that hard count.
I can't believe they stepped off sides.
I know.
It's fucking crazy.
It was an
Shit
undisciplined
pissed me
play.
off seeing Russell Wilson put that shit on.
The AFC right now, I feel like it's very easy to separate the great teams from the bad teams and the playoff teams from the teams that won't make the playoffs. Right now in the AFC, I think these teams will make the playoffs. The Chiefs, Bills, Ravens, Steelers, Texans, and I think I'm going to put the Chargers in there. I think they are legit. The Jim Harbaugh effect is real. I think they're a great vibes team.
Miss them every day.
If all those teams make the playoffs, that means there's one more spot left for the Broncos, Bengals, Colts, and now the Dolphins have kind of brought themselves back into this race and have an easy schedule moving forward. Who is the team that's going to take that last playoff spot?
Are we
Like half your
definitively?
teams right
I
here.
know, for real.
Are we definitively giving the Chargers that spot?
If you don't want to give it to them, you tell me the two teams that will make the playoffs.
I feel pretty confident because if we lump the Chargers in with this group, I feel the most confident about the Chargers.
That's fair.
It is fair.
I'm actually not even mad at that statement at all.
Who do I want more than anyone? Of course, you're asking a Broncos fan. I want my Broncos to make it. I give the Bengals a chance to win it too because their offense has been so insane. It is schedule dependent. Honestly,
a lot of these guys have pretty
I really
easy
love the
schedules.
Broncos schedule moving forward.
Yeah, Bengals have a pretty light schedule.
I
too.
know we do face the Chiefs week 18, but that's pretty ideal because that could be a situation where they do sit their starters. We do play the Chargers one more time. We will be there. We will be in KC if I'm not mistaken. That'll be our toughest matchup, but then we have the Falcons in power. I really like our chances to win that game. If I had to go out on a limb for a team, I probably would say the Broncos. I just think that of the teams there. Go ahead if you have something to say.
I think it's interesting because I think just quickly looking over it, the Chargers, the Bengals, and the Broncos kind of have to go through each other to get to the playoffs.
The Bengals play the Chargers this week, and the Broncos play the Bengals week 17.
After the Bengals-Chargers game, the Chargers go play Atlanta, then they play Baltimore, and then I think the Chiefs, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a pretty tough next four.
Then the Bucks after that.
Yeah, and then I think they play the Steelers too. I don't know. But
Bucks is a
They played
winnable
the
game
Steelers
though.
already.
yeah, so but those three, they pretty much have to go through each other. So it's kind of like interesting in that part. Even the Steelers too, they're not even a lock for real. Like that's a team that could fall out. They have to play all these teams too.
I mean, the Steelers are 7-2 though, right? Like,
And we've seen some shit.
yeah. I mean, I think they're too good to fall off from this part.
I think I would go, if I had to guess, I'd go Chargers and Bengals. I'll go Chargers and Bengals.
I think it's tough
We're
because
falling off?
the Broncos have the lead right now.
You're saying us.
They got a 2-game lead on the Bengals.
Fucking
Right? Bengals have 3 wins.
And our schedule
I
rest
think they
of
have
season.
a game and a half.
Yeah, we're 5-4 right now.
Bengals are 3-4.
4-6.
4-6.
Yes, the
Bengals.
Bengals.
Oh,
are.
the Bengals have 4 wins.
So we play the Falcons this week. We're home. We have the Raiders away. I give it to the Raiders. They always play us well, but we did break the curse last time we played them. The Browns were home. Colts were home. Chargers were away. Bengals were away. Those are going to be the 2 games that honestly could decide
Chargers
whether or
and
not we
Bengals,
make the playoffs. And then week 18 Chiefs.
That's a tough 3.
It is tough with 3 to end the season, but being real, I can see us beating at least 1 or 2 of the 3 in that span.
Honestly, you need the Chiefs to keep winning. Because
That's what I'm saying.
You can't have the Ravens or the Steelers like catch up and being like a game for that week 18 they have to play.
Steelers up on the Chargers 2 games.
That can change in a week.
Just
or 2.
letting you know, it's 7-2.
The Chargers are awesome. This the thing is that I feel very comfortable with the Chargers being a playoff team. I think they will make the playoffs. I know the Bengals have Joe Burrow, but to this point, he leads the NFL in passing yards. Jamar Chase leads the NFL in receiving yards. Trey Hendrickson leads the NFL in sacks, and they're 4-6. Even with Burrow, Jamar Chase, and Trey Hendrickson playing at the highest of high levels, they're still losing games. Yeah. So it's not even like I can say, oh yeah, I trust Joe Burrow to play well all of these games and run it up and lead the Bengals to the playoffs. I do trust him to play well, and I think he will play like he's been playing all season long, which is an elite level. But does that mean that the Bengals are going to win? No, it does not, because all season long, he's been playing at that level, and they've lost.
Yeah, I mean, all of these teams are going to have their question marks, right? I think Miami, health number one, but also I think maybe Miami, now I'm thinking about it, has the least amount of question marks because
their back end schedule is nuts.
And Tyreek,
it is really
Tyreek
tough.
is banged up. With
Not anymore when you think about it. Not Tyreek Hill banged up, but
the Jets twice.
The
Browns.
That's still tough.
They're right. You and I just went over in the car. They
Like
got
the
the
Packers
Texans.
is
They
tough.
haven't been the same team. The Packers is definitely the toughest.
I think
on
the Texans
schedule.
would be healthier by then, though.
That's fair. That's
They'll be
a true
healthier by then.
statement.
Like Nico should be back and ready to go.
Yeah, he should be back this week.
And where's that at?
Which game?
It's a good. He's saying at
The game,
Texans.
like-
at
I'm not,
Dolphins.
either way, though, it'll be.
it's just the
Dome or-
Dolphins. They play the
Miami.
Patriots. They play the Jets twice.
Yep.
I mean, based off what those teams have shown,
That should be 3-0.
that's 3 wins right
Play
there.
the Raiders this upcoming week.
Yeah,
Should be
you
an
should
easy
beat
one.
the Raiders.
They play
That's
the
4
Browns.
in
wins.
Houston. Do play the Niners. That
That's
is
tough.
in Miami.
But the Niners aren't unbeatable this year.
They
They're
are.
not, but CMC is back. So that's
Yeah.
definitely a
They were in
worry.
a dogfight with Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
I think the
Tampa's
Dolphins.
alright.
No, I know,
Tampa's
but I'm
sneaky.
saying that's why like Miami and Tampa Bay, like
The
you know, I
two
mean, that's-
toughest games, in my opinion, here by far are
Packers and
the
San Fran.
Packers and I would say the Texans, because the Texans, both of those games are on the road. But again,
San Fran's tough too.
San Fran is going to be tough to play, no doubt.
It depends on what San Fran you get, because if you get the real right San Fran, they can go in there and whip y'all. Mm-hmm. But if you get the we're
But
in
I'm
the
just
troll-
saying, I think they have the least amount of questions because when this offense is clicking, which when Tua's been healthy this year, it's been a pretty solid offense. We know how great they can be. We know how explosive they can be. And defensively, I really don't know what to think of Miami defensively
They're good
because they were exactly for the first few weeks of the season. I guess once Tua got injured, their numbers were like across the board top 10 in the league, right? But I thought a lot of that was due to their opponent. And then the offense was so damn bad, you don't really have to take chances against the defense. You could kind of just score 17 points and win the game. But then this past week against the Los Angeles Rams, who have all of their guys healthy, they shut them down. They were able to get pressure on Matt Stafford, right? They forced him into an interception that game. Like, it was probably their most impressive defensive outing of the season.
AZ just had 28 on them though. The week prior to that.
Yeah, that's why it's tough.
Oh my God, I'm blanking on the D tackle's name. Zach Seiler. He just came back too from injury too.
Then you
which
think
was huge
about
for
it
them.
on
And he
the-
didn't play against Arizona.
Think about the flip side. Denver, who is an offense that's been a little bit up and down throughout the year, but against the Chiefs looked fucking amazing with Bo Nix.
Considering. Correct. I
With
agree.
Bo Nix for sure.
yeah,
And
considering
then
Bo.
defensively, they're the best defense out of all of these teams we just named, outside of maybe the Chargers.
I think that's exactly what I was going to say prior to us getting into the
It's,
different
what do
teams.
you trust the most? Do you trust Broncos offense
I
or
wanna
Miami
trust-
defense
Here-
or Bengals
And this is the thing.
defense?
It's easy to say. It's easy to come up here and be like, you know what? I trust Joe Burrow, right?
It
I
is
trust
easy.
the guy who's the best out the group, the best offense. But it's not. It's like like you mentioned, they've had games where Jamar just had 230 last week, and they lost the fucking game.
Yeah.
So it's like,
You're right.
I think I'm gonna go what's consistently been pumping them out wins, which is probably Denver's defense, who's given them wins all year.
I was going to say, if I had to go with the most trustworthy of everything we just listed, it's between the Bengals offense and the Broncos defense. But when we break down the two teams, the Denver Broncos offense has been able to do enough in certain situations to go ahead and win them games. This past weekend, which goes into my next takeaway, it sucks we lost. We were a field goal, 35-yard field goal
Voodoo,
away
bro. Don't even be
from
upset about
ending
it.
the streak
It's
for the
fucking
Kansas City
voodoo.
Chiefs.
It's Leo Chanel.
14 straight in a
That's
row.
what it is.
Leo Chanel, but also Alex Forsyth. I also just hate Will Lutz, but Alex Forsyth.
That wasn't his fault.
It wasn't.
I don't know, bro got mauled.
It's not Will Lutz's fault. But as a Bronco fan, I've seen him in clutch situations sell us. That game versus the Bills, you love to mention that we got a second
Yep.
chance and a second opportunity.
That game was so nice.
Then earlier this season, where we're playing the Jets, he misses the 50-yarder. Thank God that Greg the Leg is maybe just as worse, or is worse than his, not just as. He's worse than Will Lutz, so we were able to skate away that win. But Bo Nix, he
He moved you. He did something to
it
your
makes
ass.
me happy, just because we're going up against one of the best defenses in the league. And I get it. I'll give you your acknowledgement on this too. You felt as if, hey, it was right there for him. The Chiefs secondary, if there's one thing that Bo Nix could have done against them, it could have been passed well against them. And to your credit, he went out there and he definitely did do that. Now, coming out the gates, we went and put up points immediately, 2 touchdowns. Now he has a successful throw, if I'm not mistaken, to Cortland Sutton, 30-yard pass. That was pretty great to see. Third down efficiency, he's one. If I'm not mistaken, he's the most efficient quarterback when it comes to completion percentage over expected. But Bo Nix, rookie rankings. Not that that's the end-all, be-all, but to me right now, he's a rookie. It's all I care about. 15 touchdowns, that's first. 206 completions, that's first. 1968 passing yards, that's second to Jaden Daniels. 64 completion percentage, that's third. Something that I anticipate to clean up a little bit because now we're starting to see him get a lot more comfortable in the pocket, take what the defense is giving him. That's been what's impressed me the most recently. He has the most attempts, and among just all these is, again, like I mentioned, all among rookies. He has 4 rushing touchdowns. That's tied with Jaden Daniels. He has a receiving touchdown, which was pretty awesome to watch against the Ravens, even though we got smoked. That was like the lone bright spot. But Bo Nix doing this against the Kansas City Chiefs on the road with the weapons that we have. And I've been the first to critique Cortland Sutton. Won't say a negative thing about him for the rest of the season. The last 3 weeks, he's been awesome. And like you've mentioned, I will give him his credit. He has had a really solid year. But with little Jordan Humphrey, with Troy Franklin, with Adam Troutman, with Javonte Williams, he goes out there and he's consistent. And at least that's what he's shown me for the last 6 weeks. That's all I could ask for out of Bo Nix. And it sucks that he lost this game. He deserved to win this one, especially on third down. Pressure's in his face. He's able to step up in the pocket, deliver a nice throw to Cortland Sutton, put us in a position to win the game. That play right there put him in position, the Broncos in position to win the game. He comes off the field thinking that he has a W against a division rival, best team in the league, and we just fall short because of the most insane blocked field goal, whatever. It sucks, but I'm happy with my quarterback. And that's all I could have asked for this season. All I cared about this season was Bo Nix and what he was able to do for the Denver Broncos. And this defense exceeded all my expectations as well as I thought they'd play. They're even better than that. And this offense, as ugly as it can look sometimes, it's fun to watch every single time they're on the field.
Can I ask you a question? This is a future long-term question, obviously. Well, not maybe, whatever. So we watched the Tennessee Titans, right? We watched them, not same situation, but a little bit similarities in it. We watched last year, Tennessee Titans, right? Will Levis show flashes in his little stretch, 3-4 games. So Tennessee, what did they do the next offseason? They went out there and they brought in a shit ton of talent to kind of help this team. Will Levis has been butt all year. He hasn't been good. He's trash, whatever. Denver, flip over. You draft this rookie, a little bit older than most, comes in, has his struggles. He's supposed to be NFL ready. He was not. But now he's progressing week by week by week.
Not, to be fair, first 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Seattle and
I get
Steelers. But continue.
How do you go about attacking this offseason? Do you go insane, haul, bring in as much talent as you can? Or do you just break apart the tree little by little, little by little?
I think you have to do your service to him and get him another weapon, at least, at the minimum. I think that we go in this draft, we're probably going to have either, I'm assuming, like pick 18 to, I think, best case scenario, let's say 23, right? Let's say best case scenario, we go and we make the playoffs. If we're a first round exit, who knows who we play week 1 in the playoffs? Maybe we go and we're a second round exit. Who knows? I can hope. Of course, that's what I can do. But let's say that that's the range of outcome that we're at right there. I think we go wide receiver. I don't want us to take Ashton Genty. He's the sexy name, of course, because he's tearing up college football. He's been arguably the best player in college football right there with Travis Hunter, Cam Ward. I need us to get Luther Burden. I need a wide receiver. That's what I need for the Denver Broncos. I think that we're going to see T. Higgins out on the market. If we don't go and draft a receiver, T. Higgins would be my number one guy that I would want to go out there and get. But I say that with a little bit of caution.
Similar to Cortland Sutton's game?
A little bit.
Yeah, but I think he's a little bit faster. I also think that he's
play style, like big contested catch type receiver.
That's a very fair point. I think he's quicker than him. I think that his hands. Cortland's one of the ones when it comes to that, really. But I think that just route running, just getting open, creating space, out in space also, definitely taller, a little bit more physical. I think that will definitely benefit Bo Nix in the long run. His hands are definitely more for sure than what we have in Lil Jordan Humphrey and Troy Franklin. But really what it is you have to go out there, do your due diligence to get him at least one weapon. And we've already heard Sean Payton say, are we good enough around Bo Nix? When your coach is saying that, he has nothing but the utmost confidence that the quarterback can go out there. When you're willing to throw the other guys that are obviously more than just Bo Nix on the field, throw them under the bus, that's usually a sign that this offseason, we're going to tackle that problem and we're going to try and get him as much help as possible.
And these Broncos owners, they're some of the rich in all of sports.
I love
them. They're the Walmart company. They're worth like fucking $20 billion or something crazy. You guys have $50 million in cap space next year. That's without taking into consideration like any restructures, cuts, stuff like that. So you're going to have money. And honestly, I think Genty could go like top 10, right? Like, I think he's going to go to Dallas, right? They're going to have like the 7th pick. And they're
He's
going
a
to take
Dallas
him.
guy.
We were
But
talking
there's
about
so
that
many.
yesterday. If he goes to Dallas, they're unserious.
There's so many running backs in this draft class. You can find one on day
I agree.
2 that you feel really good about. Anything else you guys talk about the Broncos before I move on to mine?
Yes. So I'm glad that we're talking about this game because I thought it was probably the best game of the weekend. You have the Commanders, Steelers, the Rams and the Dolphins game was, and this game was right up there. And this was the one I was paying most
Texans
attention
and
to.
Lions, oddly
Oddly entertaining game.
I went to sleep thinking the Texans had it.
That's a shame.
At the first half, fell asleep.
It
I
looked
woke
like
up.
Jay sold.
I know. That's
Yeah,
all right.
listen, it looked like it at one point that they did have it.
Brother, I thought it was the one, bro.
Nah, because I also don't want to hear the weapons argument because he had Tank Dell wide open and he
I
completely
didn't see the
botched
second
it.
half, so you get nothing
Be
from
grateful.
Here's the thing with the Broncos is that right now they're ahead of schedule. You know, this year was supposed to be a year where they're one of the most terrible teams in the league, and now they're a playoff team potentially heading towards that trajectory. And there are two position groups that I feel like need to be highlighted the most. Number one is the secondary. That, I think, is going to be something that year to year they can rely on.
It's sex.
Zach Allen, and if he's going to
Cooper.
replicate this next year, Zach Allen has been in the league for a long time, and this is his first elite production year.
Fair.
So we have to see if that is going to be something he can replicate, but they have good pass rushers, and they were in Mahomes' lap all day long.
Him, Cooper, and Benito. Oh, my God. What a trio.
Benito really was just, he had
He
his
broke
way
out.
the
Yeah, he
entire
did.
game. The offensive line. Nobody's talking about this, and I feel like, you know, we talk about Bo Nix and we measure him to these other rookie quarterbacks. Not that I'm trying to do that right now. It's, the weapons, he doesn't have that. The Broncos' offensive line is number one in the league in true
incredible.
pass rush sets. I mean, they are an elite pass blocking unit, and this is a surprising stat that I stumbled upon. Bo Nix this year is top 5 in created pressures where he has some responsibility for the pressure, and it makes sense because he buys time and he's mobile. The offensive line for the Broncos is the offensive line that is least responsible for the pressures. This is an elite pass blocking unit, and even with the question marks at receiver outside of Cortland Sutton, this offensive line gives Bo Nix a very high floor because he's protected and he trusts the protection in front of him, and that has been getting better throughout the course of the season. With the Chiefs, they just found ways to win games, and I am kind of tired of the narrative around the Chiefs of how like they're always getting bailed out and stuff because, listen, if you pay attention to every team that plays in a league,
bullshit.
if you pay attention to every single game that happens every single week, there are missed calls all the time. There are calls that are ticky-tack all the time.
So the Jets one, the fumble,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Like the Jets didn't get a fumble recovery. Like the refs miss things
said,
all the time.
Redo the play. No flag, no nothing. Just redo the play. I've never seen that before.
There is a website called NFLpenalties.com. They have a stat that is called beneficiary of penalties. The Chiefs rank 23rd in the NFL. Number 1 is the Bills. They benefit the most from calls in the league. Refs are human. They're going to miss some stuff, and because the Chiefs keep winning, that's something that people want to grasp onto, and that's something they want to use to discredit them. But listen, this is just one of the best teams that we've seen in history, and that's they find ways to win. If Mahomes doesn't play well, that defense comes through. If that defense is letting up something, Mahomes comes through. And I know the counting stats for Mahomes aren't good this year the same way they weren't that good last year. There are 25 quarterbacks that have 50-plus dropbacks of 3rd and 4 or longer. Mahomes is number 1 in success rate with 55%. The only quarterback above 50%. And against the Broncos, the 3rd and 13, where
every time
he shrugged off Benito
Yep,
and then
that was
created a
crazy,
big time
bro.
play
That
to
was
P.
dumb
Ryan.
tight.
That was insane.
Like the
I hate
pass,
him.
to DeAndre Hopkins where
Yep.
he's under pressure. Mahomes all season long has made magic happen on third down. He has been the reason why drives have been kept alive, and he is very much playing at a high level despite the counting stats. And then you have the defense. In the first half, the Broncos did whatever they wanted on third down. In the second half, you had Spags dial up 2 great blitz looks where they got instant pressure at Bo Nix and he had to throw it away. And one of them, he took a sack and they forced a punt. And then the final play of the game, even when the defense cracks and they're about to lose the game,
What a great drive.
Leo Chanel makes a play. Like, this is what the Chiefs are. Every single phase, they're dialed in, they're locked in, they don't give up on any play, and that's the reason they're undefeated. And that's the reason why they've won 15 straight games, is because they are the best coached football team. I will say this about the Chiefs. If the Chiefs lose this season, or if they lose in the playoffs, it's going to be because of one of these two things, or both of these things. The left tackle position, with Wanya Morris, who just got hurt, and now they have their rookie left tackle playing. That is a huge liability. I mean, Mahomes has to manage that every single game. Against the Broncos, man, the pressure only came from that side, and the other side is also vulnerable with Jawan Taylor. That's a big concern. And then their secondary. I mean, Trent McDuffie, I trust him. He did lose against Cortland Sutton in their matchup. But Jalen Watson is not going to play again this year. He's hurt. That was their other boundary corner. Right now, like, defensive success rate on drop back, like on passes right now, I believe they're 27th in drop back success rate. This is not a very good pass defense right now. The Chiefs are vulnerable. Like, they have some things, and that's why they've been in close games the entire year, because they are a vulnerable team. They get teams' best punch, and if they do lose, it's going to be one of those two things that comes back to bite them.
Enough Chiefs talk.
Praying on it.
Screw those guys.
Praying on the
My
downfall.
next takeaway I have, we're talking about the Texans and the Lions game. The Texans are finding ways to lose games, right? The beginning of the season, they were finding ways to win, and they were winning ugly. But now it's turned around. You look at week 1, and these are all one-score games. Week 1, won by 2 against the Colts. Week 2, won by 6 against the Bears. Week 4, won by 4 against the Jags. Week 5, won by 3 against the Bills. 3 out of those 4 teams outside of Buffalo, we all think Houston is much better than, right? The Jaguars and the Bears and these teams. But then over the last month, that's flipped. They lost by 2 against the Packers, and I know they have injuries, but they lost by 2 against the Packers, 8 against the Jets.
Shit, they're consistent.
And then this past week, they lost by 3 to the Detroit Lions when Jared Goff throws 5 interceptions. A game where Jared Goff was looking like a lot of dudes in Madden in college football when you get down early, like, I'm just going to throw because I'm pissed off. He was making some very, very questionable decisions with the ball. I mean, he was taking like one-on-one shots to Geno down the field, underthrowing him, getting intercepted. One of the worst games of Jared Goff's career, and they still lost that game. But this Texans offense, it's struggling right now. We're talking about 24th in EPA per play, 30th in success rate over the last 4 weeks. Of course, not having Nico Collins on the field is a big deal. But I think more than anything, this offensive line is putrid. It's awful. It's terrible. You were just talking about, the true block or the whatever, true pass sets, whatever you want to call it. But this offensive line, 29th in pass block and 29th in run block win rate, even though Joe Mixon's rushing for like 100 yards a game, struggled mightily against this Detroit Lions front 7. They've been one of the best units in the game. And Stroud this season has faced the second most quick pressures and the most unblocked pressures in the league. So even when you have Nico Collins back with Tank Dell there and Mixon 100%, this offensive line isn't able to do anything for CJ Stroud. It's a real concern, and I think a part of the reason why they were struggling, even though they were winning so much to start the season, was because of this offensive line. And Nico's going to come back. The offense is going to look better, and I think people are going to start to buy in again because they're going to have like a 70-yard touchdown, because that's what Nico and CJ Stroud does. But this isn't a serious contender. This isn't a team that, I mean, I don't know if they can win a playoff game. Like, if the Steelers and Texans play tomorrow, I will be taking the Steelers in that game. That pass rush against that offensive line is going to be terrible. So it's probably their number one thing to look at in the going into the offseason. Now, I'm honestly surprised they didn't do anything at the trade deadline to try to make some sort of improvement there.
The biggest problem is Bobby Slowick. I think the offensive line is a concern too, and it's been a letdown all season long. But those quick pressures are coaching. Like, the Texans, they use slide protection, and what that means is basically you call a certain slide to, let's say, if the defense is overloading the right side pre-snap, you make a check, you slide that protection to the right, and then you leave somebody like Laramie Tunsil one-on-one against a defender. Defenses have thought about it and said, you know what? Okay, if they're going to slide their line, if we just show an overload look to the right, we're going to drop those guys back and we're actually going to blitz to the left side. And then they're left on islands and they can't block that at all. And they've just figured out those protection plans. It's very simplistic. And Bobby Slowick is running a very amateurish version of Kyle Shanahan's offense. And that has gotten figured out very quickly. And his stubbornness to run on early downs really has cost the Texans. On early downs, the Texans' EPA per play is 29th and they're 31st in success rate. 36 quarterbacks have at least 20 dropbacks of 3rd and long or more, which is 7+ yards or more. CJ Stroud has the most with 72, and he's second in EPA on those throws. CJ Stroud has been doing a lot of saving the Texans' offense in those 3rd and long situations, and Bobby Slowick has consistently put him in those situations. No other NFL offense over the last 2 years has lost more EPA due to early down play calling than the Texans. And it's because they run the ball too much. They're stubborn. And Bobby Slowick, it's like, you have this great quarterback. Why don't you pass on first down? Why don't you play action on first down? Why don't you sprinkle some of that in? But no, it's run, pass, run, pass, run, pass. That's not a viable way to live in the NFL and this ecosystem of defenses that we have right now.
Yeah, the bigger issue is they run when they're supposed to be passing. Like, I'm pretty sure they lead the league in terms of running the ball when the expectation is to pass. I don't know how.
It's like 2nd and 8. It's run.
And they're running the ball, and their EP, like, they're losing fucking like a point every single time they do it because you get into these 3rd and longs. But yeah, no, I agree.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't they stop running against you guys, and that was like one of the main reasons?
I don't know why they ever did.
Yeah.
He's got his hat on backwards, man.
Yeah,
his hat on
weird.
backwards.
I'm surprised Joe Mixon gets these 100-yard games. Honestly, their offensive line is absolutely
Joe Mixon's
terrible.
like that.
But he's also like getting like fucking 25 carries. So like Joe Mixon's been great, and when I see him, he looks good. But like he's getting like 110 yards on 25 carries, and yeah, that's good. Like especially fantasy and shit like that, that's great. But like you're running at 4 or 5 a clip, and you're running on 2nd and 10 and shit. It's like, yeah, it's easy to get 5 yards on 2nd and 10 because everyone thinks you're gonna throw the damn ball.
No, I think definitely this offseason, lock in offensive line. Like,
and probably a new play caller too.
No, yeah, and you know Bobby Slowick's one.
Bobby Slowick's gone.
He's supposed to be one of those
Good
dudes
chance.
that was lining up to get a new job, and it's like, brother, you fell off. Like, there is just no adjustment for your quarterback. And you know, we could talk about Nico not being there, Stephon Diggs eventually not being there, but at the same time, it's like, dude, like you have a primetime quarterback, like make adjustments. You don't have to go big play, big play, big play, big play every time. Like you can literally check down. Those matter. Like those are 4 or 5
Stay
yards
ahead
that you
of the
can
sticks.
just, that's all you just continue to move.
Mahomes just became maybe the greatest ever because he figured
Facts.
that out. He figured that out very early in his career. I don't need to take the top off every time.
You drop back, bro. You have like 2 or 3 receivers go deep. It seems like 80% of the time that underneath receiver that just sneaks out of the backfield is open. You get 6 yards.
OD
Like I saw
every
it-
time.
Yeah, I mean it happens. It happens every single game.
I have 2 takeaways: 49ers and Buccaneers.
I have one from this game. Too.
The 49ers, their DVOA rankings, they're 3rd in offense, they're 4th in defense, they're 31st in special teams. This
Jake
special
Moody,
teams
oh my
unit is
God.
terrible.
Oh my God.
3 missed field goals, but also they had a
Game
muff
winner?
punt.
Didn't he hit the game winner?
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it barely went in. It was so close to not. It was like the Jake Bates field goal
Yeah.
game winner. But they had a muff punt in this game that led to the Buccaneers' only touchdown of the game. And this special teams is a very big problem against the Cardinals. Yeah, they didn't have a kicker. I think against the Rams also. The 49ers have lost the most points or have given up the most points with 51 points due to special team errors. It's going to cost them. Like it's been costing them already this year. And this is why, you look at the 49ers and you kind of raise your eyebrow a little bit and they don't feel as real of a contender as they did last year. And it's because there's one phase that's really stopping them from dominating the game. They left 16 points on the board against the Buccaneers. It should have been a blowout. But because their special teams was that bad, Brock Purdy had to pull off some late game heroics, and he had a great throw to Christian McCaffrey. He anticipated it so well. It was an elite play, and then the buying time in the red zone and throwing to George Kittle. Brock Purdy had an exceptional game. This was one of his best games that he's played.
He is a demon. And that touchdown to Kittle. I mean, Kittle, I cannot stop talking about
brother,
him.
bro. They just,
Bro, the
connection is there.
Cook, bro. This guy Kittle is just different every week. He's getting into the end zone. Now you get McCaffrey.
don't need
back.
Ayuk.
No, you don't. Wish him well. Hopefully you get back
My
soon.
takeaway was Juwan
Yep.
Jennings can replace like 80% of what Brandon Ayuk
Ricky
does.
Pearsall was the star of the show.
Ricky-
No, shout out to
also.
him because you got shot and you scored.
Nah, it was
That's
lit. Nah,
a movie, bro.
talk. And listen, Brian Robinson, give him his flowers too. He got shot too,
like-
and he's been a demon. But I want, and I said this on the Fantasy Reaction, shout out to Tom Brady, because although he's been getting a lot of criticism about being an commentator, one of the things he said during the game that caught my attention early on was, if I'm Brock Purdy, my guy on third down is Jawan Jennings. We're going to see throughout the course that it looks as if Purdy trusts Jawan in these situations in third and long more than he trusts any other receiver. And we saw that on this play.
He's been
in this
doing
game.
that, though.
No, for sure.
Jawan got banged up. He's been banged up like the past. But prior to that, like when he was healthy, even when Ayuk was on the field sometimes, like
Jawan this season
Debo
is top 5 in yards per route run. When
Yeah,
he's on the field and getting snaps, he is dominating.
I'm talking about when him, like even when it's him, Debo, and Ayuk out there, sometimes it still feels like
Shout out to
Jennings
my
is
brother
my
Jawan.
guy.
Try telling y'all.
He's their man beater. That's what he is.
Y'all said he was a jag.
And he played the X this past week. This is like his first week, like primary playing the X. Led the team in targets, receptions, yards.
9 for 12, something like that.
Yeah, I don't have the exact
maybe
numbers.
Ayuk should have went to Pittsburgh.
Could have saved them maybe 120 M's.
Yeah, he has
Jeez.
8.1 catch rate over expectation. Last year, Ayuk had 8.4%.
Even still
Jawan.
has more pride than
You know,
DJ
Jawan's on my
Moore.
fantasy.
Coke.
Jawan might be better than DJ Moore.
So let me get. So wait, Sauce gets the. It's a bad year.
Cool.
But DJ gets the.
No,
it's okay.
Sauce has 2 all-pro years. DJ Moore has 1 great year. He has 1 great year.
DJ Moore's been pretty good his whole career.
He has 1 great year.
He has been consistent.
He's been consistently good his whole career.
Okay, if you want to shit on Terry just like I do with the 1,010 yards, we can do the same shit with DJ.
No, I think
Sure,
DJ got some
had like
1100s.
11s facts.
He got some 1100s. You can't.
He was never the peak that Sauce was. Never.
No, but the
But Taylor Clown's always been
logic
an
still
elite
applies.
receiver.
And DJ Moore's not top 15 this year, brother.
The logic still applies.
DJ Moore's like top 50 this year.
The drop off is still there. The logic still
The
applies.
drop off's different between the two.
If no, because this is different. Sauce just been ass. DJ's
No,
just
DJ
been not
Moore's been
engaged.
fucking ass.
DJ
Sauce
has
hasn't
not
been ass.
engaged.
Sauce
He
has
just hasn't been what he was last year.
Ass.
He,
Sauce
has been
killed.
unclutch. More than anything, he's been unclutch.
He's been just a solid corner. He
Yeah.
hasn't been like a
Go
Pro
from
Bowler
2 All-Pros to
or an
solid as
All-Pro.
well.
He's been a firm B fringe.
Is he better than Quinyon Mitchell right now?
No.
Quignon's been really good.
Quinn.
Going from
I think-
go crazy. Cooper to Geno yourself.
Drew, going from 2 All-Pros to solid is embarrassing.
It's tough.
DJ Moore went from all pro to not playable, brother.
Oh my God.
Like, I do not want DJ
I
Moore
blame
on the
Caleb Williams.
field.
No. Shane Waldron. Caleb's also been bad.
Hey, listen. Ever since Rob Sauce has been gone, Sauce has looked like a shell of himself.
Oof.
I mean, I feel like Sauce looked the same regardless of coach.
He has looked the same all year.
What did Keyshawn Boutte do to him?
And big catch.
That's a safety on the safety, honestly.
Who was that wide receiver that caught that pass against me in the Titans game?
Oh,
Ridley?
Calvin Ridley.
That catch
was
was
Ridley.
fucking insane. I can't blame Sauce for that. That's one of the best catches of the year.
I can.
Can we bring down Trey McBride? Can we do that? Can we bring down Trey McBride?
I mean, one thing I'll get on Sauce for, he cannot tackle. He's top 3, I think, or top 5, whatever I
I
said
watched
earlier.
that
and missed
play
tackle rate.
straight up cackled.
Yeah, but also there's not a lot of corners bringing down Trey McBride. Quinyon Mitchell wouldn't bring down Trey McBride.
I'm just
in
saying,
open space.
let's not get embarrassed
You're
on that
honestly
play.
cooking. You're honestly
I
cooking.
don't, not a lot of dudes
Trey
are bringing
McBride's
down
like
Trey McBride,
250.
bro. He's a big fucking
No, he
dude.
was carrying Sauce.
George
man.
Kittle was the
My
best
God.
tight end in the league by far.
He is.
I don't think it's by far. I mean, if you want to call him the best tight end in the league,
Trey's
then
top
sure.
Trey
Kittle's-
is top 2.
Kittle's,
Kittle's
like,
back.
fake.
No,
Like,
Kelsey
he's-
is back.
Yeah,
Kelsey's back.
Kittle's been like this all year, though.
Yeah, Kittle's he's won.
Kelsey's back.
Kelsey playoff time won.
No, but bro, these last 3 weeks.
Well, yeah, but Kittle all year.
Facts.
It's making me.
And the blocking.
Oh, he's always.
Oh my
he's
God.
such a cool dude, man. I like
Kittle's lit.
The last
him to
Week
Philly.
10 takeaway I had was, everybody's overreacting when Drake Maye started for the terrible Patriots offensive line, all this stuff. Still true. They are bad. But Drake Maye versus Jacoby Brissett, we now have a sample size where both of them have started 5 games. In those 5 starts, the Patriots averaged 19.6 points per game with Drake Maye. It was 12.4 with Jacoby Brissett. Maye's explosive play percentage is 13.5% on his dropbacks. Brissett's was 7.6%. When Drake Maye has been pressured this year, 6th in EPA per dropback, 10th in success rate, and 9th in first down and touchdown rate. Brissett in those categories ranked 24th, 19th, and 24th. Since starting Maye, he is 1st in quarterback rushing yards and 5th in big time throws. He's also has the most turnover-worthy plays as well, but that's what you're going to get in this Patriots offense. Like, he has to make things happen out of nothing consistently. You saw against the Bears the throw he had a Hunter Henry where the defender was draped all over him. I mean, Drake Maye every week is making those throws where he's beating coverage. He is throwing his receivers open. In this Patriots offense, at least one time a game, you can trust that they're going to muster up a drive and they're going to score. That's been a given with Drake Maye, and he's been awesome with the Patriots despite a terrible offensive line. They're 32nd in pass block win rate. Not a good receiving group. They're 32nd in run block win rate. They can't run the ball either. I mean, Drake Maye literally is playing with like nothing, and he's still playing well.
Drake May's awesome. But let me ask you a question. Bo Nix, because, we talked about the offensive line. Didn't really talk about Bo, you at least. Is he out of a job in 3 years?
That's still a wait and see. I think he played well versus the Chiefs. We have to see how he plays down the stretch of the season.
I don't disagree. I just think, very critical early on,
Well, I just love how
I'm just curious.
There's no mention of Bo Nix's elite offensive line the entire year. Like
that's a lie. It's a lie. That is.
Have you mentioned it?
Of course I have. Cause our offensive line, you're the one that shit on McGlinchey. He's come back. He's been huge for us.
McGlinchey, when you signed him, was not a good pass blocker.
But he was solid last year. He's been great this year. I've obviously been vocal about Garrett Bowles. Shout out to Ben Powers, Quinn Miners. I've been vocal about our offensive line.
Whenever the conversation of Bo Nix comes up, it's he's in a terrible situation.
That's
he has
not
nothing.
necessarily. No, he has bad weapons.
Yes.
Sean Payton is his play caller.
He got a good play
and
caller.
our offensive line's awesome, but we don't have weapons.
Courtland Sutton is the best receiver between the Patriots and the Broncos teams.
Oh, I'm not going to take that away from Drake Maye. I'm not here trying to shit on Drake Maye.
Drake May's hell.
Drake Maye is in the worst situation by far. No doubt about it.
I think the thing with Bo Nix is what the Broncos are going to run into is just what is he? Like, if you aren't like a borderline stamp franchise quarterback, then yeah, those quarterbacks either tend to get overpaid or teams move on from them. Like right now, Bo Nix has shown that over the last couple of weeks, he can manage the game and he has made some high level throws. Also, I look at the fact that he's one of the 5 most pressured quarterbacks in the NFL, and the offensive line is at the least fault of any offensive line group in the NFL for those pressures. That speaks to pocket presence. That speaks to him creating pressures for himself. And those are things like the footwork stuff.
But he has not, I'm looking at it I think he has been sacked 16 times this season. 16. Caleb Williams in the last 2 weeks has been sacked 15 times. I would still argue his pocket presence, although it's not as good as we thought it would be coming in. I still would argue it's been pretty damn great and been a huge upgrade over what Russell had given us the last 2 years.
My thing with Bo Nix is still the footwork, and I think it's been cleaned up a little bit throughout the season. It's just there are times in a pocket where there are unnecessary movements. And Jordan Love had this problem in the first half of last season where, you have a clean platform and you're throwing on the move. Like the 3rd and 8 play where he made that throw to Courtland Sutton, I love that play. And he created pressure for himself, but there was reasoning behind it. The last couple of 3rd downs, Spags was blitzing and he didn't have any platform to throw, and he was instantly pressured. He was a sitting duck. So once he got that snap, he instantly started moving and he created that pressure and stepped up into a clean pocket and then hit that throw. That's one of the moments where I can excuse it. But yeah, like if you're top 5 in faults at pressures and then your offensive line is not the culprit of it, there are dangerous situations he is putting himself into, and that's just something you got to keep an eye on. But, Bo Nix is playing well versus the Panthers. He played well. I thought versus the Chiefs, he strung together some impressive drives, especially the game-winning drive. So we just have to see how it pans out right now.
And also,
question. So you don't think he could be a franchise quarterback, right now?
I don't know. With Bo Nix, it's been weird because right now I'm kind of in the mode where
you used to like him.
I'm teetering, and that's what I'm gonna get to. I'm teetering because I went on Twitter and I went on the search tab and I put at Joel V. Moran and I put Bo Nix.
That's always fun to do.
Talking about?
And I was looking at the tweets I had about Bo Nix in the past, and I was like, let me see how I felt about this guy. So somebody asked me, because I put the list of the picks I liked draft day, and one of them was Bo Nix. And Paskey _100 was like, why do you like the Bo Nix pick? And I said, I think Bo Nix can be a star. This was 4/26/24. Then I seen him in the NFL, and I thought the floor is a little bit lower than I thought his first couple of games were like historically bad.
First of all, I thought you soured on him. I felt like right after the draft. I feel like that time
like a month after, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't think his ceiling could be like Geno Smith?
I think his ceiling could be a good quarterback. Like right now, how I view Bo Nix is that, you're in a situation where just don't lose the games.
Yeah.
That's it.
Game manage.
This year he has a chance to make the playoffs, and if the Broncos make the playoffs, it will be in large part because Bo Nix is not screwing up. So that's the first step. And then next year when the weapons come in and if he has another great season, then I'm going to form my opinion on him then. But, right now I'm kind of teetering because I was right about Bo Nix, I guess, if you think he can be a star. And then now it looks like I might be wrong about him. So
You said he's not a starting quarterback.
Yeah, so now maybe I was wrong on that.
You definitely went far.
Yeah, I went
And you
really
let
far.
it be after the Seahawks and the Steelers when you were high on the Seahawks defense coming into the season. They showed out week 1. And then week 2 against arguably the best defense in the league. You let those 2 games say that's it. He's done. I don't want anything to do with him.
Drew, the Seahawks, I think, do have a solid defense, and especially at that time.
Yes.
The throws Bo Nix made were terrible. Like
In
the interceptions
in
he
the
made.
Steelers game, I would argue yes, but down the stretch of the
Versus the Seahawks, he had the interception in the end zone.
it's his first
to
game
Julian
of
Love.
his career.
And then he had the interception of Reek Woolen where it was like triple covered.
So in hindsight, the Buccaneers have one of the
like
worst
a lock-in.
defenses in the league, right?
They do.
So Jaden Daniels should have played better in that game.
Yeah, he should have.
But it's his first game of his career, so do we
23.
really care?
Yeah, but then he made up for it with like the performances against everybody else.
Okay, and Bo Nix has also been very fucking good against
Lately,
essentially
yes.
everybody
Yes,
else.
I would say Bo Nix, like half of the games this year has been good or like really good.
wrong
I would
with
say that. So like right now we have like a 50-50 split of like we have like bad Bo Nix tape and we have good Bo Nix tape. So right now I'm kind of in the middle and like what's
like
real
mixtape.
and
but I would
what's
also
fake.
say
He
this.
cooked your Chiefs.
He did.
I told you the pass defense wasn't that good.
And people were trying to say, oh, he only scored 14 points. That's on him. If you watch the game, that drive right before halftime, Cortland Sutton drops a dime. A beautiful pass on 3rd and 15 that
Yeah,
would have
over the
got
middle
us
of the field,
into,
right?
Yes. That, again, I give Court his flowers. He usually doesn't drop shit.
Yeah.
He dropped that ball in the middle of the field, shocked me. But now instead of maybe a 40 or a 35-yard field goal, now it's a 60-yard field goal. And, of course, Will Lutz doesn't have the leg for that either. We don't talk about that field goal, though, because it's 60 yards.
60
it's long.
is-
But again, then he also had the drive at the very end of the game. But I give Spags his credit. The blitz schemes that he was throwing at Bo Nix, it had him guessing. That one in the red zone, on near our goal line, on our side, where Bo Nix basically just heaves it. He's like, fuck it, I'm not taking this sack. I'm just throwing the ball. That I didn't love. He didn't have a great sack early in the game. Obviously, you mentioned it put us in a position where we had to punt the ball away. But for a majority, I would argue he's been pretty firm these last couple of weeks in the pocket.
Yeah, but even those 2 plays, I don't put on him.
No.
I think those were the correct decisions, and there was nothing that he could do in those moments. So like right now, how I feel about Drake Maye is how I feel about a stock that I invested in, and maybe I pulled out a bit too early, and I see that it's going up right now, and I'm like, man, I could have got return on those gains, but I already pulled out. So now,
You mean on Bo Nix?
yes.
Correct. You said Drake May.
Oh, I did say Drake Maye?
Yeah.
Sorry. So that's how I feel about Drake Maye. The stock is
I was
still
gonna
there.
say-
It's been there.
Drake May, I feel like
Drake May's stock is
collectively
going
we've all
crazy.
believed he's going to be a dog.
I really love Drake Maye. Bo Nix, yes, I feel like that's a stock that I bought, and then I was like, wow, it had like a really bad downward, week, and I'm like, shit.
That's when you have
I'm
to
gonna
buy
sell
the
it.
dip, brother. Buy the
Oh,
dip.
sometimes it just keeps going down. So
He didn't, thank God. The Buccaneers game, we should have been back.
So right now, I'm just looking at the chart, and I'm waiting to see if it's a smart stock to
Because those third down
buy into.
efficiencies. Just saying, brother.
We'll have a weekly Bo Nix stock report on this show. If
As long as I'm here, we'll do that.
we're gonna buy it or if we're gonna sell it. Now, you mentioned the pocket presence and taking sacks and all that stuff, and I think it's very important that we highlight that with this next topic. The Bears fired Shane Waldron, offense coordinator. A couple interesting developments from this firing. Since week 7, their bye week, since that time, last in yards per drive, offensive touchdowns per game, EPA per dropback, completion percentage, and sacks allowed per game. They're 0-3 since the bye. Also, these people from ESPN Chicago, they're called Waddlehead and Sylvie. They quote tweeted Adam Schefter's report of Waldron getting fired, and they said, after talking to a few people with knowledge of the situation, players went to Matt Eberflus and Ryan Poles, asking them to make the change at offensive coordinator. there have also been a few veteran players requesting that Tyson Bagent starts.
Holy shit.
Tyson Bagent is terrible.
Even a few weeks ago, I know maybe it was during the bye week, Caleb Williams, maybe a couple other players, they went to Shane Waldron saying they wanted a more aggressive offense. They saw early on or earlier than we are now, like this offense isn't working. Tyson Bagent's crazy. Tyson Bagent's insane.
We don't know how true that is. Hopefully,
We don't know how true that is.
That part is not.
I mean,
true
they
at
did
all.
ask Matt Eberflus in the press conference, like, what'd you think about sitting Caleb? He said no, which I think is the right answer, but it's been talked about.
This is what I got to say about Caleb, because there's so many layers to this. I think the one thing I want to speak to when it comes to Caleb Williams is that, first of all, let's make this clear. Caleb Williams is not playing well. He's one of the most inaccurate quarterbacks in the NFL. He's holding on to the ball forever. There's no quarterback that has taken more sacks that is starting right now than Caleb Williams on long dropbacks, 4 seconds or more. He's holding on to the ball and he's taking these sacks. Also, the offensive design, the route concepts, everything is vertical. There's nothing in front of him. There's no like crossing routes. There's nothing over the middle of the field. These routes are very static. The offensive design is very poor, and it's not putting Caleb in a position to be successful, because this year on throws under 2.5 seconds, he has 5 touchdowns to 0 interceptions, and he's been one of the most efficient quarterbacks on those dropbacks. So he can play within structure, but he has so many dropbacks over 2.5 seconds, and he's getting pressured on those, and he has 5 touchdowns to 5 interceptions on those, and that's where the mistakes have come. This is just an overarching thing that I've noticed. Everybody is so quick to hate on Caleb Williams because he was a hyped up prospect, and he has a lot of other things going on, like painting his nails and things that people don't deem masculine. And I don't want to make this like a political thing, but the media was propping up Caleb Williams all offseason. This is the best situation that a first overall pick has ever been in. If he fails in this situation, there's no excuses. You're already making bold claims about Caleb without even seeing an offensive snap play out. And the reality of the situation is that Caleb Williams is not playing well. But what's the bigger issue in this? It has been the offensive design. It has been the offensive line. And people have not adjusted their thinking to the Bears offense. All they've adjusted is that Caleb Williams sucks. It's not that the Bears situation is actually much worse than all of us thought it was going to be. I think we can all admit that right now. Yes, they have good talent at receiver. It doesn't matter how talented you are. If your coaching sucks, you're going to stink. It's going to look like an unwatchable product. And right now, there's a lot of victory lapping on Caleb Williams because he is somebody that is very polarizing. And I don't want to excuse his play because I don't think he has been playing well. But you look at the Bears organization. They drafted Mitch Trubisky with John Fox. The very next year, Fox was fired. Matt Nagy came in. They drafted Justin Fields with Matt Nagy. The very next year, he was fired. Matt Eberflus came in. They drafted Caleb Williams with Matt Eberflus. Matt Eberflus, I think, will get fired after this year, and there's going to be a new coach that comes in. The Bears have not put any of their quarterbacks they've recently drafted with a stable coaching staff whatsoever. So they have to hope that they nail this next head coaching hire, or Caleb Williams is in some real danger of panning out like every other Bears quarterback has.
The Chicago Bears have been one of the worst franchises of the last 20, 30 years. Of course, they have one of the most historic teams with the 85 Bears because of that defense and what it meant to football at the time. But since then, they've had no real success. Now, you look at this, of course, you have Brian Urlacher. They went to the Super Bowl. But really, the quarterback position has always been the main blemish when it comes to talking about Chicago Bears. Now, you mentioned some stats already. Over the last 3 weeks, they've been dead last in essentially every single passing metric. Last in EPA per play, success rate, dropback EPA, dropback success rate. When it comes to rush EPA, I believe they were 19th. They just have not been good at all these last 3 weeks. Now, I highlight the last 3 weeks because it's been against the Commanders, the Cardinals, and the New England Patriots. Now, these are all 3 defense that we would deem either average or slightly above average. These aren't game-changing level defenses. They've had some highs. Definitely, I'm talking about the Commanders. And, of course, the Cardinals. They've definitely had some highs this year as well. New England, I feel like as the season's gone on, we've seen their defense not play as well as it did early on. But, of course, they're still a respectable unit. With the Bears' offensive talent, we anticipated a lot better. I anticipated a lot better. But this offensive line is definitely horrendous. And Shane Waldron, by far and away, is the guy that I point the finger at, number one. You have so much talent on this offense. How is it possible that we're not generating anything? Also, if I'm not mistaken, they've been last in yards. They've gone 23 consecutive possessions without a touchdown. They rank third worst in the NFL with 278 yards a game. That's terrible. That's horrendous. And again, DeAndre Swift, we were critical of him early on. He's been their best offensive player. Excuse me, I just spit everywhere. He's been their best offensive player since week 3. Rome Odunze is the guy that we look at on this offense that has maybe the most juice. And honestly, the guy who doesn't get mentioned, Cole Kmet. I think Cole Kmet is a pretty solid tight end as well. They do have a lot of talent on this team. Now that there will be a new play caller in Chicago, I'm a lot more optimistic. And honestly, for DJ Moore's sake, I think that DJ Moore will be the main beneficiary of that. Also, hopefully we stop seeing Keenan Allen on go routes, because obviously we know that he is a win underneath an intermediate kind of guy. He's made a living off being an elite route runner and a separator in that area. So why not put him in those positions to succeed? Shane Waldron was a disaster, and give JSN his flowers. He called it very early on. Good luck to them. But Caleb Williams also has not been great. And obviously you have to look at him and give him some blame these last couple of weeks. You do need to do a better job of getting the ball out there, but that also goes right in hand with scheme and offensive play calling. The design needs to be, go ahead, drop back a couple steps and let the ball go. This can be timing routes and everything. Look at Tua and how he's made a living. A lot of that Miami offense, although now things are starting to get figured out, it's a lot of timing and getting the ball out quickly and having your receivers go after the catch. DJ Moore is one of the best yards after the catch wide receivers in the league, and we haven't seen that this year because they're not doing a lot of that this year. So when you take a step back and not go and just immediately point the finger at the quarterback like we've done for a numerous amount of situations where, yeah, it could be true. Caleb Williams has not played well, but there also can be a bigger picture. And this one, I think they made the right choice by letting Shane Waldron go.
Now, do you feel more confident now that Shane Waldron is gone because the offense coordinator that's replacing him is the offense coordinator that called plays for the Panthers last year when Frank Reich was fired?
Oh, God bless.
No, but I think Shane Waldron getting fired, at least there's going to be room for next year. We get a whole new play calling. And because this year, the defense is good. I still think the defense is good, but without offense, you can't win shit, and especially when your offense is this level of bad. So at least, there's something to carry over into next season, hopefully, because, with now the Jets, where now their defense is terrible, you can't really bank on it year to year. But the hope is that at least now, we have Shane Waldron now. We don't have to worry about it. Like Matt Canada was a concern for the Patriots, for the Steelers for weeks and weeks and weeks, and they finally fired him. But they went into the season with him. At least now we don't have to worry about that with the Bears moving forward.
Yeah, I mean, majority of teams, like there's some outliers, but most teams, like your defense, more so than your offense, just changes so much year to year, whether it's coaching, whether it's personnel change, whether it's players regressing or progressing. It's really difficult. Like even the fact that the Jets were so fucking dominant for 2 years in a row, you don't usually see, right? Like look at the Eagles. Like last year, they were dog shit. This year, they look amazing. When they went to the Super Bowl, they were decent. Like there's all these different factors that go into it. But talking about Caleb and talking about Shane Waldron, number one, thank God. He deserved to be fired. Facts. He should not have been the offensive coordinator for this team. They are 30th in offensive DVOA this season. They have been bad really across the board, outside of a couple games against some bad defenses when DeAndre Swift was really able to get going, open some things up for the passing game. But since the bye, which is when you're supposed to reset, what's working, what's not working, let's double down on what is working. You mentioned it, Drew. These 3 opponents they played, Commanders, Cardinals, and Patriots, they've scored 15 points, 9 points, and 3 points. Caleb has been sacked 18 times over those 3 games, and I think that's where a lot of this conversation goes, is about the pressure he's facing and the sacks he's facing, because I think the offensive line's fine. I actually don't think the offensive line is the number one issue with what's going on in this team. I do think it's the play design, and the reason why Caleb's holding on the ball for so long is because he's waiting on guys to get open. But when you look at the offensive line this season, they are 14th in terms of pass block win rate And in those true pass sets that you highlighted against the Denver Broncos being number 1, Chicago's 8th, the 8th best offensive line in terms of when it's a straight up passing play. They've been the 8th best offensive line. So it's not just Caleb Williams back there. 2 seconds goes by. Oh my God, I'm getting pressured like he's fucking, Geno Smith, CJ Stroud, that level of bad offensive line play. A lot of this has been on Caleb Williams this season. I mean, he's faced the 5th most pressures in the NFL. He's taken the most sacks in the NFL, but on a per dropback, he's only been pressured on 36% of dropbacks. That's 15th, right? So it's not every single play is under pressure. It's been about league average, and his offensive line's been about league average to above league average. So a lot of that is on Caleb Williams. And I think part of the concern people had, which was valid coming out of USC, is he's doing all this crazy shit at USC. He's holding the ball for 8 seconds back there. He's making 5 guys miss. Will that translate in the NFL? And for the most part, it hasn't translated, right? The only player who has a higher or a longer time to throw when he's under pressure is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson can do that because it's fucking Lamar Jackson. He's a one-on-one athlete and he can make dudes miss. But Caleb Williams hasn't been able to do that. If we want to get really nasty this season, because there's some metrics that think Caleb has been one of the worst quarterbacks in football. Since 2021, Caleb has the lowest catchable throw rate in the NFL, 63.6%. The second, third, fourth worst, Bryce Young, Zach Wilson, Justin Fields, all of them are at 67%. So we're talking about a 4% difference between what Caleb's doing and what the second, third, fourth worst quarterbacks catchable throw rate. And we're talking about, some of the biggest busts in the NFL so far through their first couple of years. And also his pressure to sack ratio is the worst in the NFL since 2021 at nearly 31%. Caleb hasn't been good. I know I saw you went and looked at all of his sacks. I also went and looked at all of his sacks. I thought so there was 9 total sacks. One was he rushed for 0 or 1 yards. So I didn't count that. So 8 total sacks that I counted. 5 I did not think were on Caleb Williams. I thought 5 was just he was getting beat. Play design wasn't there, or more than anything, the pressure just got there way too quick for him to really do anything. There were 3 plays where I did think there's some opportunity there, right? I think the first sack of the game, I believe, he had DeAndre Swift on a check down. He looked at it. He just didn't throw it. He ended up getting sacked. He had one where DJ Moore was one-on-one with an outside receiver on the left-hand side. You had single high safety. DJ Moore beat Christian Gonzalez one-on-one. He didn't throw the ball. And then the other play, which is 50-50, the one where he rolled out to the left side, and I thought he should have just threw the ball away. There was 2 routes going on. Both were fucking covered. There was no way either of them were going to get open. He just held and held and held. I wish he threw it away there. Young quarterback. I'm not going to blame him. So if you want to take that away, that's fair.
Yeah, but that play was it speaks to the offensive design. It's just being so dumb. That was a speed out where DJ Moore runs 3 yards up the field and it's a stick route. So he just goes, stops, and turns his head. Mm-hmm. You're not creating any separation by doing that. And then Roma Dunze, it's a high-low concept, and Roma Dunze is running a corner route, and the corner has outside leverage, and it's blanketed. Yep. These routes are static. You're not, DJ Moore is a receiver that I think is best when he's on the move. Get him in space, get him going, he's fast, and let him, eat after the catch. That's just not a staple in this offense. It's clear out routes, it's static routes. And yeah, Caleb, I think he should have thrown the ball there. But also, it's that's a sack that he took. Also, nothing is open. There's nowhere to go with the ball, so might as well throw it away. But it's a play in a down where even if he took a sack or threw it away, it doesn't really make much of a difference.
It might have been 3rd down too, that play.
Yeah, it really wouldn't have made much of a difference. So that's what it's all these things work in harmony. Caleb Williams is holding the ball too long. Why? Because nothing is open. That's really what it's been. With all these receivers, they are not being used correctly. Nothing is open down the field, and he has to hold on to the ball. And Daniel Jeremiah mentioned this great point, is that I actually want to see more USC Caleb Williams. I want to see him get out on the move. There were some sacks that he took that I'm yo, Caleb, I know that you can get out of that. You can already be ahead of the schedule, and you can start rolling out, and you can start running. I want you to play free. And it goes back to what Justin Fields said last year about this coaching staff, about Matt Eberflus, is that he wasn't playing like himself. He wasn't playing free. And I feel like when quarterbacks play for defensive head coaches, it's coached into you to not mess up. Don't screw up. Because we're a defensive team, just play within the flow of it. So you're not getting the best out of your quarterback. You're not allowing Caleb to be Caleb. You're making him feel very restricted and play very uniform, and that's not his game. He can do it, but if those quick developing concepts aren't there, now you just have somebody that's just sitting in mud and just like, just going through everything and not finding nothing open. So all those things work in harmony, and those stats are very bad. They're very bad, and they don't look good right now. And you definitely have to wonder if this is something that can be fixed, if you're hoping that the confidence doesn't get shaken up too much, because this is very much a demoralizing season.
I think he'll be okay. Listen, oh my God.
What the hell's in that bev, bro?
Clear it out.
Nah, man. I went to this party and it was outside.
Oh, that's crazy.
So yeah, I had a jacket, but dude.
Where?
It was a house party in Patterson.
No invite?
Huh?
I'll go out to P-Town.
No, it was my friend. He doesn't know you.
So?
He posted on his Insta, if I don't know you, you cannot come to the party. I'm sorry. Like,
There's no +1?
Nah, like, it was legit. Like, he just wanted his like close friends and family. Like,
What was the occasion?
It was his birthday.
Oh, no.
It was only like 15 of
okay.
us. Yeah.
And now you're sick. Damn.
Fuck it. We're here though. Listen, this really just sounds like deja vu. Like, we've seen it with Justin Fields. Same thing. Like, Justin Fields getting there, the situation was terrible and he was talented, but of course his throwing wasn't the best. Caleb comes in here, he's talented, throwing hasn't been the best, but the coaching has also been terrible. I think you got to look at this offense. Like, we can throw, like, I can sit here and I can defend DJ Moore to the day I die, right? You guys can sit here, you can defend Caleb to the day you die. But, like, it really is a trickle down from just Waldron to Caleb to Keenan, DJ, Rome to the offensive line. Like, this whole team has just not been in sync all year. And, I guess it starts in training camp with the coach, with guys trying to get in sync. I guess it starts there for sure. But he should have been fired weeks ago. Like, this offense has not gotten better. Like,
It's gotten worse.
Yeah, it's projectively gotten worse. So I think this team is just sitting here. You fired Waldron. So it's good. You can go in there. You can try to find somebody new. Yeah, I had to get that one out. That one was nasty. Mm-hmm. But you can try to find somebody new in the offseason, but you can chalk this season up to an L. And that's the most disappointing part about all this. Like, we are visibly frustrated at the fact that Chicago coming into this year, we thought was going to be a fucking gold mine. We thought this team was going to shoot for the moon. The schedule was light. We're thinking like, this team could sneak a playoff game in. Caleb was minus 1,000 to win offensive rookie of the year. He was getting all the tags of, generational. They was calling him Patrick Mahomes. We get that all out. He's not that at the moment. But what we've seen is we saw Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville get Urban Myers, and he was probably the worst quarterback in football. Then bounce back with Doug Peterson. Now, he did have a bad drop back year the next year, but we've seen bounce backs before, and I don't think this would shake Caleb at all. I just think you have to find the right guy in the system. Even Justin Fields, who wasn't playing elite or nothing like that, but he went to Pittsburgh and he was playing fine. He was playing confident. He was playing with more, just within himself under Mike Tomlin. Yeah. So like we've seen bounce backs before, even to a lesser degree, so now I think, Caleb kind of has that, like just that type of swag where you just put the right guy in the room with him. I think if you get this receiving group to get on the same page as him, I think this offense could definitely blossom because the talent is there. But just going into this year, every week it's a new thing. It's the receivers aren't getting open. It's the play calling is shit. It's Caleb's holding on to the ball too long. It's always something new, everything different. Week by week, it's just been a disaster after disaster. At one point, they were blaming DeAndre Swift and the running backs for not being able to run the ball. Like, it's always something with this offense. And honestly, you got to just chalk it up to the whole offense is just ass. They're all not performing to what they. And it's a bad thing because that defense is good. That defense has talent, and that defense has kept them in some games. Like I look at that Houston Texan game as an opportunity where they really had a chance to win that game. The Bears defense played really well. You look at that Commanders game and shit. Before the Hail Mary, they had the game. Like the game was in there. Like they've had opportunities where they could have really won these type of games, and this offense just hasn't been on the same page from quarters 1 to 4. Even that Commanders game, he was great in the fourth quarter. Ass quarters 1 to 3. Titans game, solid in the fourth. Ass from quarters 1, 2, 3. It just hasn't been a consistent, cohesive unit all year. And you hate to see it with a group that has veterans like Keenan, DJ Moore. Cole Kmet isn't a veteran, but he's been on that roster for a couple years. You have a guy like Matt whatever.
Eberflus?
Yeah, who last year had this defense playing at a high level to end the year. You know, he had this defense playing at a high level. He thought he had the locker room going into this year. It just hasn't been that. So you mentioned the guy who is their offensive coordinator now, was on the Panthers roster last year. Like Dehls mentioned, God bless. I don't know if it gets better from that, but I think you get a full reset. You go into this offseason thinking, okay, last year, that was just a fluke. We bring in a new offensive coordinator. We bring in a new head coach in general, and we try to run the shit back.
I'll give you your flowers. You said that's one of those losses against the Commanders that could ruin a season. They have not won since. You cooked.
Listen, that shit was demoralizing. You had Tyreek on the side going crazy. Like he's a tweak out, bro. God bless his soul, man.
I already know who the Bears' next head coach is going to be.
Who's it gonna be?
John Gruden?
It's going to be Kliff Kingsbury. I think he's going to be the next head coach of the Bears.
I don't hate that at all.
With what he's doing with the Commanders,
He's back to getting a head coaching job off the ripper.
I think
so.
what he's doing with the
He'll get
Commanders
interviews,
is one of the best offenses in the NFL.
You don't think that he'll want to stick around with Jaden for a little bit?
He get another
It's a
head coaching
possibility.
job? I don't know.
But if the Bears offer him that head coaching job, the connection and ties he has with Caleb Williams already, dating back to the USC days.
Honestly, it's really how much confidence does Kliff have in himself? Because Ben Johnson could sit there and be like, shit, I'm going to have one of the most efficient offenses year in and year out. I'll wait for the perfect situation. Kliff's like, I've had some good years. I've had some terrible years. 2 years ago, I was out of this league. Now I have a chance to become a head coach again.
Does Chicago not remind you of last year's Detroit Pistons, too?
Nah, they're better than the Pistons.
Jesus Christ.
Pistons fucking lost 30 games in a row.
Well, it's NBA, 82 games.
I also think Ben Johnson is not taking the Bears job. It's too dysfunctional of organization for him to go there.
Monty Williams, Matt Eberflus.
That's kind of
Who
why.
is Ben Johnson waiting on?
Us.
I think
Low key.
Oh my God.
When we fire Nick,
The thing is,
You have
guys,
to hope you lose in the
you've
first
been
round to
winning
fire
too
Nick.
much.
fuck.
If you lose in the first round, Nick gets fired.
No, if we lose, even if we lose an NFC Championship game and it's because of him, he'll get fired. Facts.
I think
Okay.
there has to be some behind the scenes, how he's like, yo, if Nick's gone, would you come here? If he's like, yeah, okay.
Listen, Ben. Listen, we get Ben. It's up in the stuff, bro.
I think Ben Johnson is looking at two spots right now. He's looking at the Bengals, and he's looking at the Patriots with Drake May. I think the Bengals makes a lot of sense, but I don't think that he trusts that organization
They're
at
going to
all.
fire Gerard Mayo?
I don't
Ben
think they
Johnson's
fired
available?
Gerard Mayo after this year. I would be shocked, but if they do, I think Ben Johnson would seriously consider New England as an
I
option.
think Ben Johnson definitely wanted to go to the Chargers. The Chargers just decided, let's go with Harbaugh because he's the
Harbaugh.
GOAT. Yeah.
That's why
He's the GOAT.
He's already made them into a legit team.
Nah, they cooked.
What about damn no, because Houston would keep D'Amico.
Yeah.
Never mind.
D'Amico's not going anywhere.
The Cowboys.
Dysfunctional.
With
No, they're
Dak,
kind of a joke.
I don't hate
I
it.
kind of feel like the Jerry Jones just lets them do what they want to do. Like,
For sure.
I
Think he
But
does.
Jerry
No,
also makes,
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Jerry makes so many decisions.
Because
that-
you would have Dak, you would have CD, you would have a top pick to maybe draft Luther Burden if you have like a top 10
Jerry
pick.
the one who traded Coop?
You think Burden's going into the top 10? I've been seeing a lot of mocks with him dropping to like
All
teens.
I know is that the Cowboys need to draft a receiver.
Yeah.
So you have CD, potentially a first round wide receiver. You have Jalen Tolbert. You have Jake Ferguson.
We'll give him
You have a young
Jahan
offensive
Dotson.
line. I think Ben Johnson to the
CD.
Cowboys makes some sense. And if he brings in the right defensive coordinator and can get that
If
defense
they get
fixed
better, are you back in?
on Dallas,
Yeah.
I already have the list of teams I'm rooting for. The
Next
Jets season
year?
is over.
Oh, this
I'm
year.
the next year. I'm saying next year.
No.
Let me ask you a question.
Got that routine.
Are you back to being a free agent?
2025.
I'm not back to being a free agent, but I have this tweet in the draft.
That
I,
Texans win really fucked you, man.
I just haven't had the courage to send it.
is
The
it?
tweet is the Jets are officially done. From this day on, these are all the teams I'll be rooting for the remainder of the season. The Chiefs, the
Order?
Packers.
In order?
It is in order. The Chargers, the Bengals, the Seahawks, the Cardinals. You know how to throw them in there for Jess. The Vikings. Still like some skull.
The fact that they're
Still like
72
some
is
skull.
crazy.
And I have a gap between all these teams, and I have the Commanders all the way at the bottom.
Where are the Broncos?
Not really a team. Well, I have Chiefs and Chargers. Am I rooting for the entire AFC West?
Facts.
Chiefs and Chargers is wicked. It does bother me a smidge, but not much I can do about it. It's been a good season for the Chargers. Hopefully they can beat a good team.
So all those teams, if they win, I
Not
think
named the Broncos.
I'll be fine as an NFL avid watcher this year. Just those are kind of like the agendas I have. Mahomes, Justin Herbert, the Chargers, Geno Smith, the Vikings really just
Did you
Patrick
ask
Mahomes,
color purple?
Joe Burrow,
I gotcha.
Justin Herbert, just through the top 5.
I got you. I got you.
hey, listen, sometimes you hit.
You hit on number 1 overall pick, the best quarterback.
I'm not allowed to claim Justin Herbert because he's in my division.
Justin Herbert's a dog. I love
He's a
Herbert.
dog. He is amazing. Shout out to fucking Harbaugh, man. It kills me that our division, it's trending up. At least like the Chargers and the Broncos are good.
PG's having a good game.
Yeah, you see who else is having a good game?
Who?
LaMelo fucking Ball.
Down 30.
No.
Yes, you guys are down
Bro,
30
it was
points.
just a
You guys are
10-point game.
crazy.
It's 66-90, bro.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is,
The
bro.
Magic, no, it's not.
Yes, it is. 66-91.
Oh my God, bro! Out of nowhere, the score just
Yes,
flipped on
you
its
guys are
head.
down 30, bro. I don't care about them.
What are
30
the
points.
turnover numbers
Oh shit.
for Mr.
God.
Ball?
3 turnovers, 6 assists.
Wow,
That's not bad
That's
for him.
not a
That's
good
3
ratio.
assists. Essentially,
Wait, it's
Okay,
it's
but
What's
6
his
assists,
plus?
3
What's his
turnovers.
plus minus?
it's bad, bro. They're down
2 to
30.
1 is pretty
So-
shitty.
Minus 13.
your GOAT is 2 for 13.
Who?
Brunson?
Tyrese?
Your GOAT,
Or who are you talking about?
Brandon
Luka?
Miller.
Oh, Brandon Miller.
Brunson is 1 for 7, 4 points.
Yeah, LaMelo had a bad.
Then assume PG's guarding him, so I'm pushing agendas.
I mean, LaMelo's 10 for 22, 5-11.
That was you. I just choked the lead. You thought I wasn't going to beat that.
We're up 4 right now.
Yeah, you choked. You were up 25.
I thought we were up like 12.
Payne Pritchard's having a bad game, man. What the hell is wrong with him?
He was due.
My God. Wow. Yeah, he was due. I put a little parlay in on him
I see
today
that.
for 15 points.
Yeah,
And
Norman Powell winning
trash.
most improved player of the year would be the most shocking thing since what?
Laurie Markkinen winning it.
Well, Laurie's 25. Norman's like 31.
Laurie also shocked the shit out of the world.
Good point.
since the Bengals went to the Super Bowl in 2021.
I called that.
Mid-season pick. Eagles versus the Commanders. The 7-3 Commanders versus the 7-2 Eagles. Thursday Night Football matchup. Previewing this matchup because our NFL pick'em will be on Friday, along with some basketball talk we'll be doing. So this is going to be our last episode that you're going to get to watch us and us make this Thursday Night Football pick. So that's why we're doing it early. How do you feel about this game, Riv? I mean, this is a major test for an Eagles defense that has been great. First big test against an offense that is this good. You also beat the Bengals. That was a good win. How do you feel?
I want you to elaborate on the beating. We whipped their ass. Man, we fucked them. Like, literally lubed up, destroyed.
No loop.
Listen, we jammed it right in there.
God.
Listen, when do I not feel good when my Eagles play? Outside of maybe playing Tampa Bay, it's probably like the one team that
They own y'all.
Yeah, they own the shit out of us. I feel great though coming into this matchup. We've played the best football we've played since the Super Bowl year in a while. You know, these last 4 or 5 week stretches, we've been a top 5 offense and a top 5 defense. So that's something you want to tip your hat to. And I get it. Competition hasn't been anything to sing about, but sometimes our defense even shits the bed against bad offenses. So I'm glad just to see us put on some pretty complete, pretty well-rounded performances. Glad to see our young secondary play really well. Our pass rush to get into the mud of things. Jalen Carter's been great. Brandon Graham looks like he's turning the clock back. Kobe Dean, Nolan Smith, and all them boys.
Shout out to the backers. They're cooking.
Josh Sweat. Shout out to Georgia Bulldogs on our team in general.
Amen.
They've been doing their thing. Secondary's been dope. Offensively, when A.J. Brown plays, we're undefeated. We have not lost a single game this year when A.J. Brown plays. I think that's the key. He just opens up our offense so much more. It makes defenses really struggle, makes them really have to hone in on that zone defense. Because if you go man-to-man, A.J. Brown's pretty much beating anybody. And then, Smitty has his moments where if you go man-to-man, he can also beat your top guy. So I think, and then Saquon Barkley is just getting into the mud of things. Just we've turned into, ever since the bye, we've turned into a run-heavy offense first. And that's always been our thing. Like, we have one of the best offensive lines in football. We bring in a talent like Saquon Barkley. Why not just make it a run-first offense, then feed off the run? And that's what we've been doing, and we've been great at it. And Hurts has been great at, keeping the turnovers down. It's not just the turnovers, it's the stupid bonehead plays.
Think about it?
No, like those like weeks 1 through 5, I swear to God, 80% of it was not even the defense. It's just Hurts doing some dumb shit. Like, why are you throwing that? Why not just throw it out of bounds?
He did it in the first half against the Cowboys.
I was
fair.
literally about to say.
Yeah.
I think Trayvon Diggs just made a nice play.
he kind of had inside leverage on that, too. I don't know if he should have thrown it.
I don't think he should have either.
I think a slightly better ball placement might have been a touchdown
For sure.
But at the same time, Trayvon made a nice play on the ball.
Trayvon made a play, and those are the plays
And
that's
then he had
like,
a fumble.
yeah, like the Cowboys game was a little
You've
bit
been waiting for
sloppy.
this, huh?
He has been waiting.
I watched the game.
He has been waiting because before that, Hurts has been flawless. He has
No,
nothing to
Hurts
say.
has been
Well,
fucking
you mentioned
sacks.
him making dumb mistakes, and I just mentioned
I don't think
he
Trayvon
had
Diggs one
two of
was
them.
dumb.
What
Like
did-
dumb
and
is
I-
different.
and I always tell you-
It was pretty covered.
He trusted his arm. He trusted his arm. It happens. You know, it definitely does happen against this Washington Commanders team and this fake defense.
Oh my!
I would love to say I'm excited to see their offense. I'm excited to see what Scary Terry does against our secondary, who has pretty much been in the dog pound locking dudes up since week 5. You know, I'm excited about that. Since the bye, I want to say I'm excited to see how we make Jaden Daniels looks. We saw that Pittsburgh Steelers game. You know, Washington struggled sometimes, specifically in the second half. You know, that Pittsburgh Steelers defense was able to get pressure. I'm hoping my boys can do the same thing. On the defensive side, I don't think Washington can hold us. And this is where I'm really going to get it. Like, I do not think there's a single ounce of level that Washington defense can hold us. I don't trust their corners. I know they got Marshawn Lattimore. That's really
He
cute.
didn't practice yet.
Yeah,
so.
I don't even know if he is.
might
Even
not
if
play.
he
He didn't
was.
practice,
Even
he's
if he
probably
was or he wasn't, he's too small for A.J. Brown.
Oh my.
Respect to him. A.J. Brown just does something to them little corners. Yeah.
What's he do?
I'm just showing him the picture.
No, he was actually.
It was
yeah,
covered.
I get it. You've been waiting on this for sure.
What,
No,
the
I'm just
Trayvon
piggybacking off
Diggs?
what you said.
No, for sure. You
The
showed
Trayvon
me the
Diggs
Trayvon
and
Diggs play.
Goddard. Oh yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
But I also
I get it. I get it. He wanted to get cute. He wanted to get fancy. Sure.
130-46, by the way.
Yeah, I know. But I think we beat Washington handily. I think this is a comfortable game. We go in, especially in Philly, first game, number 1 in division. I think we go in there and we smoke out Washington. I think we have ourselves a fine ball game on both ends. I think offensively we get to do whatever we want. Saquon in the run game, A.J. Brown, Smitty. I think Dallas Goedert, he's going to be there. I think our offensive line is going to get an insane amount of push. And then on the defensive side, I think we'll be able to hold them for certain spurts. I don't think their offense will be able to keep up with our offense. So I'm really honing in on the Eagles' dominant win just to show the world, like, we're back on top and to show the world Washington can't fuck with us.
I don't think it's going to be a dominant win. I think the
course you
Commanders always play the Eagles tough.
you
They're always
disrespect their
close games.
defense a little bit.
Even when they were bad, they played you tough.
You
worried.
disrespect Commanders' defense.
What'd I say?
Dante Fowler's been a demon this season.
Yeah,
What
I mean,
did I say?
You said they can't fuck with us at all.
What am I supposed to say?
I would feel that type of way if I had his offense before.
No, agreed.
the
But
Commanders, I think they've been solid on defense.
You called them a fake defense an hour ago.
did you?
Yes.
Cardinals.
Cardinals.
you said
He
the
said
Commanders,
Cardinals. No, I don't think he did. I'm the first to call out. He said Cardinals. Most
I said
definitely
Cardinals. I definitely
Most
said Cardinals.
definitely it was Cardinals.
But
if
even
your
though-
memory's been on Fraud Watch, you accuse me of that. Your memory's been on Fraud Watch.
But even then,
Yes, you.
Me?
That was wrong. Also, when the statement that you said, no, I didn't say that.
Oh, that was one time.
Yeah,
That was
okay.
one
But
time.
I'm
Here's-
telling you, he said Cardinals.
here's the thing. I think the Commanders, their way to win this game is just they got to get off to a hot start. The Eagles haven't gotten off to the best starts in games, especially in the first quarter. And if the Commanders can get a little bit of a lead and you make the Eagles more predictable on offense where they're passing more, they're not playing through the run game, then there's an opportunity for them to, have momentum and ultimately win this game. But I think the Eagles are a more talented team. I think the Commanders' defense, metric-wise, they've been really good, right? But you look at just the talent that they have. Like Dante Fowler, yes, he is having an incredible year. Dorrance Armstrong is having a great year. Daron Payne has been all right. I don't even know if he's healthy or not. Somebody probably could fact check me on that.
good.
And then Jerzon Newen has came back recently, and he's put together some good games. And you have Wagner, you have Louisville. Like, they have some talent
I
there.
like Louisville a lot, bro. Something
I
about
love
him. He's
Louisville.
always making a play on the ball.
Yeah, I love Louisville a lot, too. But this is where I think the Commanders are going to lose the game. You don't have Marshawn Lattimore. A.J. Brown against man coverage has a 37% target rate. A.J. Brown is going to be guarded by Benjamin St. Juste, and then you have Mike Sanders still probably guarding Devontae Smith. I feel like that's a mismatch. It's going to be a game where the Commanders are going to have to do one of two things. They're either going to have to say, okay, we're going to trust our corners to win these matchups, or they're going to give them safety help, and now you have lighter boxes, and now Saquon Barkley is going to beat you that way. The Eagles right now are third in rushing efficiency, so they can run the ball, and I feel like that's been the biggest change from this year to last year is that last year, yeah, Swift is an 1,000-yard rusher. They have a great offensive line, but it's not actually an efficient rushing offense. Like this year, they're actually an elite rushing offense, and they're getting back to their identity that they had when they made the Super Bowl back in 2022. With the Commanders, I'm just watching their offense again. You know, I feel like their offensive line has been awesome this year, and they have great protection plans against high-quality pass rushers. Against Dexter Lawrence, they were double-teaming him, and Sam Cosmi is one of the best guards in the league. Against TJ Watt, they were chipping him with wide receivers and running backs. They were triple-teaming him too. So they tend to have great plans to keep Jaden Daniels protected. Terry McLaurin, for the most part, he's always lined up on the left side. Quinyon Mitchell lines up on that right side 97% of the time. That's going to be a matchup that I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to the Terry versus Quinyon matchup. I think it's going to be awesome. And the Commanders just have to have long, sustained drives, run out the clock, and get out to an early lead and have some momentum for them to win. But I think the Eagles are just better top to bottom, much like the Chargers, where the Chargers are on elite defense, but they haven't faced the best competition. I think the Eagles are a great defense. I think they're turning into an elite defense right now. And I know that the competition has not been great, but I just look at the talent that they have. The person that has really impressed me has been Zach Bond. Zach Bond, the last 3 games, he has a 90-plus PFF grade. He has 40 defensive stops on the season, which is number 1 amongst all linebackers. This is probably the most sure tackler that the Eagles have had a linebacker in a very long time. He was a converted edge rusher. I had my question marks about how he would play linebacker, but it's because it's a brand new position. And that was a great find from Vic Fangio to get him, develop him. He plays with an edge and a physicality that I feel like you can't teach. And then you just have the defensive line playing at a high level with Jalen Carter, Milton Williams, who's going to be a high-profile free agent. Nolan Smith has made some plays. Bryce Huff just made his best play of the year against the Cowboys, getting a strip sack fumble. Josh Sweat. Brandon Graham still could give you something, but Josh Sweat also has been a bright spot. And then you have the secondary with Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, who they have given this secondary life, and Cooper DeJean has played at a very high level. So this defense as a whole right now, they're number 1 in success rate on defense in the NFL. This is turning into an elite unit, and if you have an elite defense and you have a team that can have elite ball control like the Eagles, and they can run the ball, they can run the clock, and you have that explosive pass game, things are coming together for the Eagles right now, and I feel like the defense, that's been the biggest surprise and the thing that I'm most impressed with how things have transpired this year.
Go ahead, brother.
Philly's gonna win this game.
Shocked you.
They are.
I mean, I don't know. I've been right about Philly every week except once this week, or once this season. I believe.
Shit's not moving us, man.
Scoreboard. Anyhow,
Mickey Mouse.
but no, I think Philly's gonna win this game. The one area that Philly's been able to get beat on defensively is when opposing teams use motion. Right, so when opposing offenses use motion against Philly's defense has generated a 61.2% defensive success rate, which is the 4th highest in the NFL. Meaning that you run motion against Philly, they get some things, misconstrued, you're able to have some success on them. But the Commanders don't really run motion a lot. A lot of this has just been Jaden Daniels going to sit back there, just going to read the defense. A lot of it is some quick game stuff that Kliff Kingsbury dials up, but they're only running motion on 50% of plays this year, which is the 4th lowest in the NFL. Funny enough, they're one of the most successful teams when they do run motion. They have a 50% success rate, which is 6th highest in the NFL. So it's something they're great at, but it's not something they do a lot. So I am interested to see, again, on a short week, it's going to be tougher to implement new things into your offense, or at least something that you don't do often, to do it more often on a short week when you just don't have as many practice reps, walkthroughs, meetings, stuff like that. But that's really the only area that concerns me, because I do think Philly's defense has shown over this last month, really since the bye week, they've been able to turn it around. We talked about it early in the season. Vic Fangio historically takes some time for his defense to really get settled in. It's not just Vic Fangio. You've had breakout years from your rookies, from Braun, from Bryce Huff, who's, even though his snaps have been going down, he's been able to generate some pressures and get some hurries on the quarterback. But it's been a good mix, I think, of coaching and of some players stepping up that we really weren't expecting, because that was our biggest concern entering the year was, the front 4 we felt pretty confident about. Jalen Carter, Bryce Huff, even Jordan Davis has been playing a lot better compared to his rookie season. But it was really that linebacking core and that secondary was like, shit. You could go out and sign Saquon Barkley. You can make all these moves, but if you can't stop the run, you can't guard the pass, it's going to be hard to win games in this league. But they've had a great job really with internal growth throughout this season, being able to go from a terrible defense the first 3 weeks to one of the best over the last month. I don't think it's going to be a dominated win. What the Commanders have shown throughout this entire season is they're not about to go out there and lose by 3 touchdowns.
Stamp it.
They haven't played Philly, so I'll give you that.
Respect
but this is a
them.
team
For
that
what?
I said, even
They're
these last
good.
couple of years, when it's been fucking Sam Howell and shit, they played you tough. And when you've been winning like 11 games in a row, they go out there and beat you guys. So now they have Jaden Daniels. They have an identity. They have something to build on. It's going to be a tough game, divisional
Our
game,
team
short
is
week.
our
I got
team now
Philly.
is better than that 2022 team.
I don't know. Last year's team definitely better than 2022. Yeah, probably.
He's right.
Jalen Hurts is playing at that same level, but
Saquon clears. Who the fuck we had in the
Yeah,
backfield?
Miles.
Miles.
AJ Brown, Smitty, same guys. AJ got better.
That
Smitty
offensive
got
line
better.
clears this offensive line.
They had
now.
Jason Kelsey
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
sure.
Our defense now, I think,
it's
is
a bit
better than 2022. We just played some
secondary,
better.
for
Yeah,
sure.
that defense was a very fake defense.
yeah,
Understandable.
light
There's
There's
schedule.
also fake turf. Can't forget that. That's definitely important. Eagles are going to win this game. Their offense is just playing at an amazing
we
level.
have the Chinks.
Yeah, but I
take
guess
the Commanders, bro.
I was going to say, yeah. I don't know why we're shocked about this. Shout out. I know that I've been very high on the Commanders, but again, the Eagles are playing at a very high level. And also, you could say Commanders coming off an L. You know, they could be a little bit more hungry because they do want a chance at the division. 7-2 record versus 7-3. The window for them to take the crown for the East is there for them, but I look at what the Eagles are doing on the defensive side of the ball, and I think that that's what's persuading me the most because I know that this offense for the Eagles is going to go out there and put up points. In the first half, they've struggled, but in the second half, they just decide to figure shit out, and that's when we see the best version of Jalen Hurts. He's always due for one elite throw a game every single week. We saw it this week to A.J. Brown, especially like you mentioned, Riv. When A.J. Brown plays, this offense simply just operates at a whole other level. And when now you have Saquon Barkley in the backfield, now there's simply no way that you can really stop them. And as long as Jalen Hurts decides to take care of the ball, this is an Eagles team that really can't be messed with. So give me the Philadelphia Eagles to win this one. I would say not comfortably. I'm anticipating one of the best games we've seen this year. I really want to see the Commanders come out here and test the Eagles though, because that's been a big stain on the Eagles or in their run since coming off the bye week. This is their test, even though we'd said that it was the Bengals because the Bengals have one of the better offenses in the league. Now the Commanders are one of those that it's pretty universal right now. We respect what the Commanders have been doing on the offensive side of the ball. Maybe not Riv because, of course, they're in his division and he has to naturally be a hater. But, of course, we understand the Commanders have overly impressed this year.
Yeah.
But that goes perfectly into mine. I want them to succeed. I want Jaden Daniels to play well. But when we get into our prize picks, I'm going less on the yards for Jaden Daniels at 226.5. He hasn't reached that mark the last couple of weeks. He did reach it versus the Bears, but a lot of that did come off the insane bomb play. But he still would have hit that regardless. I just look at what you guys have been able to do these last couple of weeks, and sure, it's been against subpar offenses outside of the Bengals, but regardless, the pressure you've been able to generate, your secondary has been amazing. And if you're going to put Terry McLaurin on an island with Quinyon Mitchell, not that I don't think Terry's going to win reps because, of course, he's Terry McLaurin. He's going to win reps. But I like that matchup for the Philadelphia Eagles. Quinyon's been playing at such an elite level. I think that you need to get creative when you're going up against this Philadelphia Eagles defense. And like Joel mentioned, if you can get on motion, that's when you really can get them uncomfortable. But with the Commanders and the way that they've been running their scheme with Terry McLaurin, I feel like that is going to be something that I'm interested to see how they adjust to on the fly.
Yeah, he talked about how like Quinyon and Cooper, I believe, it was both of them. They talked about how like they have to see like AJ Brown and Smitty in practice like every day.
Makes it hell.
So like it really like brands because Quinyon especially because Cooper just started playing like I want to say like after the bye, but Quinyon has pretty much seen every type of receiver like the big body and Mike Evans, Chris Olave, he's seen Jamar Chase. Now he's about to see Terry, who's like fucking basically another Smitty, same type of receiver. So it's like he's seen every single receiver in the NFL or every single type of receiver in the NFL. So it's kind of like you see two demons in practice every week. You're kind of already prepared for the demon that you're gonna see on Sunday or Monday or Thursday.
That's why Payne Pritchard's so good.
Right. Actually, that's not a terrible take. Honestly, you see a bunch of demons, literally demons in practice. But piggybacking off you. I'm taking the more on Devontae Smitty's 51.5 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
I'll double check it for you before you give your thing.
Thank you. Double check, please.
We got to do the pros picks thing. You know, we'll do that in a little bit separately.
Oh, Drew started early.
Yeah, I know, but he was just like mentioning it. What do you think the final score is going to be?
I think that we see a Philadelphia Eagle offensive great game. I'm going to go 20. I'm going to go 31. 31 to 17.
Oh, 2 touchdowns.
So it is a dominating
That seems
win.
like a dominating
dominating.
victory to me.
It's a 10+ point win.
That's
We pretty much whipped their ass, bro. Like 17.
I was gonna say, like, I think there'll be points scored. We've seen these last couple of weeks too, some high scoring Thursday night games. I say 28-24.
I say 31, where I think that the defense leaves their mark on this game, gets a turnover, puts Philadelphia in great field possession, which leads to some touchdowns. Listen, we just saw the Commanders go and put 27 on Steelers, where one of those plays in particular came in a very opportune spot.
I'm gonna go. I guess I'll show him a little respect. I'll go
40-14.
I wish we get 40-14.
So you
Now,
said it's going to be an ass kicking.
yeah, but I'll show him a little respect. Drew is right. I am a little rude to them because they're in my division. I hate them so much. But I'll go 31-21 Philly.
I like this 31 wave you're on. I actually wrote 31 in my notes.
Look at you guys.
Thinking about
Show off,
changing it
yes.
because, it's just such a coincidence. My prediction is Eagles 31, Commanders 26. I think it's going to be a
about
close
right.
game. I think it's going to be another great Thursday night football thriller. And Riv, to answer your question, it is 51.5. So our prospect plays for Thursday night football, Commanders versus the Eagles. Drew, what are you going with?
I'm going with Jaden Daniels to have less than 226 passing yards. He's been amazing this season. For a rookie, he's been by far and away the best quarterback. Well, best by far and away, let me take it easy there. Bo Nix been a superstar. But all jokes aside, these last couple of weeks, he's failed to miss that mark. He did hit that versus the Chicago Bears, one of the best defenses. I'll give him his flowers there. But going up against this Philadelphia Eagles defense, they're going to get pressure on Jaden. This secondary has been one of the best units in the National Football League. I think he will struggle in that regard. So I'm going to take him to have less than that amount.
I'm going to go with A.J. Brown, more than 82.5 receiving yards. Marshawn Lattimore is probably not going to play. If he did play, maybe I don't take this, but going up against Benjamin St. Juste, I think A.J. Brown should see a lot of man coverage looks, single coverage looks, and I think that he's going to have a big-time day.
And for me, I'm going more on Devontae Smith, 51.5 yards. Listen, I think those corners are Swiss cheese. I trust my guys against their guys every day of the week. And it's always something about a Smitty game. And if you know me and you're a fan, when I tell you it's a big Smitty game, 9 times out of 10, it's a big Smitty game. So lock that in.
Going up against Charles in fantasy this week. If I win, I got to buy. So unfortunately, if he loses and he wins, I kick my brother.
I have the Eagles starting 5, so
You do have the Eagles.
we're locked in this
Except
week.
Jalen Hurts.
Which is, I have Lamar. Cooked. I have
Son
Lamar.
of a gun.
Yeah, so I'm good in that department. I'm actually 5-5. Surprisingly,
What,
I think.
I'm the number one
Big
team in the
Ten.
league.
Yeah. Huh?
Big Ten.
Both. I think because both my record. Actually,
not-
I don't know
Pick a
if
side. You're not first, brother.
I'm not first.
I thought you were like fucking
No, he
8th
said
place in
5
pick
and
a
5.
side.
I said
Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
thought you
I was
said
4 and 5 in both. I don't know if I won this weekend, but I remember I was 4 and 5. So I hope I won both, but 4 and 5 nuts. I haven't started my lineup in a minute.
This week in the NFL/NBA, I have a couple things that I just want to talk about real quick. NBA-wise, teams are on pace to have over 1,000 games missed by star players this season, per Jeff Stotts from In Street Clothes. Not sure how credible the source is, but if it is, shout out to them. But over 1,000
In
games
Street
missed.
Clothes is an insane tag.
I can believe it. Chet Holmgren's out. Zion Williamson is hurt.
The whole fucking Pelicans team is hurt.
They are.
have 7 players.
Jaylen Brown is
crazy,
hurt
bro.
for the Celtics right now.
He's back.
not
He's
playing.
back. He's back.
He's back. Okay, but
KP.
Kristaps Porzingis is out.
AD missed a couple games.
Scotty
Barnes.
You mentioned Anthony Davis already, right? With the eye injury.
Yeah, he's somebody
That
that's
was whack because he has a goated block
Scotty Barnes.
on facts.
Some of it's just random though. Like Scotty got like fucking elbowed in the face.
Bro,
Like,
did
what
you
are gonna do?
see
That was some shit
Garrett
with AD.
Temple,
Yeah.
Bruce Brown,
Fucking
and
Darius
Scotty
Garland,
Barnes fits when they were sitting next to
Yes.
each
That shit was
Somebody
hilarious.
tweeted they all have the same job. I was like, wow.
and then
cooked with
I had this other thing where it was a big thing on NFL Twitter in the football community. Some guy made a video and in the video he said this, and I quote, "Am I overreacting or is the NFL in a state of emergency? I can't remember games being this bad." And it led to a lot of conversation about how the NFL is kind of having like a down year. The year has not been that good for the NFL. I think it's more of an overreaction because the Week 10 slate wasn't all that, but halfway through the season, we have the most one-score games in the history of the NFL halfway through the season. I mean, these games they've been very competitive, and then it led to another conversation of, okay, but they're bad close games, and the quarterback play is down. So I have a question for you guys. Do you think quarterback play is better now than it was 10 years ago? 10, 15 years ago when we had Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Payne, Tom Brady, is quarterback play better now or was it better then?
I think this is a little. I think all of us are gonna have different answers because we.
That's a question I need hours to sit and think about.
The nostalgia is definitely still in tune.
Because you say Breeze, you say Brady,
Phillip
you say
Rivers
Peyton,
was around.
you say Big Ben, you say Phillip Rivers.
Michael Vick was
These
around.
are some of the all-time greatest quarterbacks to ever put on a uniform. Matt Ryan was also a part of that.
Russell Wilson was walking in.
Russell Wilson was perfectly.
Shit, we might be right.
So you look at the new school, and that's one of the main reasons we've seen defenses adjust because almost every elite level quarterback has the ability to throw the ball 50, 55, potentially even 60 yards deep down the field, which is why there's so many too high safety, which is now why we're seeing so many running backs lead their team and be one of the main reasons for a lot of team success. That's been a big conversation in fantasy football too, that this whole zero RB strategy went to shit this year because there's been so many high level running backs and not that many high level receivers. I think the only two consistent wide receivers on a week-to-week basis are Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Amon-Ra has a 7-game touchdown streak, and even still, it's not like we've seen of him perform the way that he's performed in years past because that offense obviously is just so run-dependent right now with Jameer and Monty. I would say it was better then because I've gotten to see how their careers turned out. I know Peyton Manning's one of the all-time greats. He's top 3, top 4 ever. I know Brady's the GOAT. I know Ben Roethlisberger will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I know Drew Brees will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Aaron Rodgers will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Matt Ryan will, at one point in time, I believe, will be a Hall of Famer. I just think that I don't know with these young guys. Do I believe Mahomes is top 2 all time? Yes. Do I believe Josh Allen's an all time great? Joe Burrow can do that. Do I think Lamar Jackson's already an all time great? Yeah, I do because they're playmakers. I just think that these quarterbacks in the last 10 years, they were a lot smarter. Their decision making was a little bit more refined. Their pocket presence was great because they didn't have to rely on their athleticism. They couldn't rely on their athleticism. Let me rephrase that. They had to win in the pocket. I think that that's what stands out to me the most when it comes to those. So it's really a tough conversation because Mahomes is just so overwhelmingly better than everybody else, in my opinion. That maybe that's what's skewing it because back then, I mean, Brady and Peyton was a conversation until Brady ran away. Aaron Rodgers was in conversation for the most talented quarterback until Patrick Mahomes came along. So it's like Drew Brees never won an MVP, but he had every record in the quarterback history book until he retired. And then, of course, Brady played forever, so he took everything back from him. So I think I'll go with those guys. But damn, it's not taking away anything from these guys.
But even then, like right now, we have some top-end quarterback play with Mahomes, Allen, Lamar, Herbert, Joe Burrow. Kyler Murray's playing at an exceptional level.
Yes.
We have Jalen Hurts playing well with the Eagles. And then, like, what's the difference between Phillip Rivers and Dak Prescott?
I don't think there's much of a difference. I think people, like we do with everything, there's so much nostalgia when it comes to these old quarterbacks in 2014. Like, I just looked up 2014 passing leaders, right? Because we talk about Breeze and Brady and all these dudes, but you had Kyle Orton play. You had Blake Bortles play. You had Geno Smith on the Jets play. You had Josh McCown play a bunch of games. Like, you had dudes that aren't good still playing. Like, I feel like so much of the conversation today is like, oh, you have these young quarterbacks who aren't ready. You have all these bad quarterback play. But it's like, there's still like 20 good quarterbacks in the NFL. I feel like for the majority of our time, like you're always going to have terrible quarterback play, no matter what. There's never going to be a time in the NFL where there's 32 great quarterbacks because the Jets are never going to be able to figure it out. It seems like the Bears can never figure it out, right? So there's always going to be those teams that just can't get quarterback right, or you have a quarterback injury or whatever might happen. So I still think the top end talent is pretty similar, right? Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Luck, Breeze, all of these guys. But we have Patrick Mahomes, we have Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow. So I don't really see the top end being that much different. Like, of course, they're solidified because their careers are over. When Burrow and all these dudes are solidified, I don't know if there's going to be much of a gap in terms of like actual talent, like rings and shit. It's going to be hard to say. But actual talent-wise, I don't think we're that much different than what we were 10 years ago.
So this is an interesting stat. In 2024 this year, 26 quarterbacks have a QBR of 50 or more. In 2011, 19 quarterbacks had a QBR of 50 plus or more. I have the passing leaders in 2011 and 2024 this year.
Do you want us to cook up?
Yeah, let me know which one you guys think is better.
You said 2000. Oh, I thought you were going to tell us to name them. Never mind.
2011, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Stafford, Eli Manning, Aaron Rodgers, Phillip Rivers, Tony Romo, Matt Ryan, Big Ben, and Cam Newton. And I'll just go to 15 just to add some more names to give people an idea of who played at that time. At 11, you had Fitzpatrick. Then you had Joe Flacco. Then you had Josh Freeman, Matt Hasselbeck, Mark Sanchez, and then at 16, Andy Dalton. This year, the top 15, 16, I'll even go 18 because there's a lot of quarterbacks here. Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Kirk Cousins, Geno, Baker, Purdy, CJ Stroud, Josh Allen, Stafford, Rodgers, Mahomes, Jaden Daniels, Darnold, Goff, Daniel Jones, Kyler, Trevor Lawrence, Dak, and Jalen Hurts.
This sounds more talented.
Daniel Jones was in there.
I know, but even still, I feel like there was more depth here than there was on the older list.
I think like the high end,
What year did you pull from?
it was with the Bills
This one
in
felt better,
2011.
for sure.
Mm-hmm. Also, the Josh Freeman nod there was kind of
Shout out to
That's
Josh
kind of what
for-
Sam Darnold's doing this year, right?
agreed. Not gonna say that that's crazy. You didn't mention Peyton in there either.
He probably neck
He was
injury this
injured,
year.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so that was
2011.
2011.
Yes.
Got it. Oh, if you would have pulled a couple of years later, it might have been a little bit more impressive list.
Yeah. Let me look at 20. Let's see. What do you
I have
think?
2014 up if you
2014?
want me to run it.
I got 2014. It's
If you go 2013, that's Peyton's prime year.
2014 is you want me to do Payne's prime year?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Let's do 2013 then. It's Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Stafford, Matt Ryan, Phillip Rivers, Tom Brady, Andy Dalton, Carson Palmer, Big Ben, Ryan Tannehill, Joe Flacco, Tony Romo, Andrew Luck, Eli Manning, Cam Newton, Russell Wilson, Alex Smith, Chad Henne, Robert Griffin, and Colin Kaepernick. Those were the top 20.
See, this list I can get behind. There's a few polar bears, but for majority, that's defining an era.
I still
I
feel
heard
like
Chad Penny in there.
I feel like
That's the one I agree.
I feel like 2024 though, you're gonna have 15
Agreed.
dudes.
Oh,
You fucking
I'm not
love.
disagreeing
Yeah.
with you. 100%. I think that this quarterback, let me not say class, but the group of quarterbacks that we have in the National Football League now is amazing.
And the quarterbacks that aren't even in the top 20 in passing yards this year in 2024, Justin Herbert and Jordan Love.
Yep.
And Tua's outside of it as well because he didn't play a couple
banged
games.
up.
So those three quarterbacks that are really good quarterbacks in this era
Tua moved you
that are not
last
there.
night?
No.
The ones that he was escaping out the pocket?
He was terrible last night.
Terrible.
Yeah.
He was only bad in the second quarter.
He was like begging to be intercepted like 5-6 times.
Offensive line really was bad yesterday too, but I was kind of impressed.
You watch him with rose-colored glasses, man.
I didn't think that the second quarter was good.
Did you think Tua played well? Did you?
I thought he was like a 6 out of 10.
He was
fine.
pretty like mid.
Second half, I thought he was
Yeah,
better.
facts.
Second half, he was
when you
definitely
needed
better.
him to step up, he made big plays.
Yeah, and that last drive too, we had a couple really nice throws.
Yeah. This is the thing. I haven't mentioned this yet, but the Dolphins' offense has been figured out. Like what teams are
bad.
doing is that they're just stacking the middle of the field and they're saying Tua throw outside the numbers. That's what they're doing. You look at the heat maps from this year and last year, the Dolphins' offense. Last year, the middle of the field past 10 yards, that's all red. Those sideline shots, you have them red. This year, it's all blue. Like teams are stacking that area, and that's really led to the inconsistencies of this offense. And a bigger storyline, that's led to Tyreek Hill not playing well. Like a big reason why with the Chiefs he didn't have the Dolphins output was because that's how they played the Chiefs. They just put too high, and they said we're just gonna take Tyreek Hill and these deep shots out of the game, and he didn't have like the eye-popping production he had when he got to Miami. And teams are doing that to the Dolphins right now. So their offense has been figured out. But I definitely think, maybe the top end quarterback 10 to 15 years ago was better outside of like the top 5, because I think the top 5 is pretty formidable when we have the guys we have now. I think the depth is a lot better now. Like there's a lot of dudes. Like Jordan Love is a dude. Justin Herbert.
See, I would have went to like Baker Mayfield. Like when you get past like the real ones, like Baker Mayfield.
Brock Purdy's a dude.
You have Brock. You have Tua. You have Geno.
Like Jordan Love's like top 10. Of course he's a dude.
Yeah, I mean Jordan Love.
Trevor Lawrence we didn't even mention.
Yeah, outside the top 5, like Stafford, CJ Stroud, Brock Purdy, Hurts, Kyler Murray, Jordan Love, Justin Herbert. I do think he's a top 5 quarterback, though. I just mentioned.
I was going to say, like, Stafford
Yeah.
and Herbert, I'm fine with Herbert getting the nod. I'm fine with Stafford getting the nod.
Like,
I really
there's
am.
so many good quarterbacks nowadays that, like, you have to have one of those upper echelon dudes.
And if you don't, you have to beat the Lions and just be stacked everywhere and have like the best offensive play caller in the NFL and one of the best morale guys and leaders in Dan Campbell. It's one or the other.
Yeah, but it was an interesting conversation about, what quarterback era is better, because Mina Kimes replied with, she thinks quarterback play is better than ever. And then somebody quote tweeted her with like a screenshot of the 2011 top 10 passing leaders.
Just they're all timers. Like, of course you see Breeze and fucking Peyton, and these are just like, oh my God, this is the best quarterbacks ever.
The screenshot of 2011, you leave Payne out there. That guy folded. He kind of did himself unless he was trying to make a point of 2011 being mid.
No, he's trying to make the point 2011 was better.
But also 15 years from now, bro, it's going to be Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, and we're going to be like, oh, these are all-time greats.
OD. Facts. All right. A little fun here. I say this because, a lot of criticism has been thrown Victor Wembanyama's way. Apparently not great IQ on the defensive side. But he's by far and away number one when it comes to blocks this season. Oh, he's a block merchant. And he's averaging 4 blocks a game. Did just have his first 30 ball in the season against Sacramento. Upset Sacramento. Won by 20 points last night. His best performance in my opinion. But can you guys name me the top 10 leaders in the blocks category, with number 1 being Victor Wembanyama at 3.9. Give me 2 through 10 right now.
Chet Holmgren.
Chet Holmgren is number 3 with a calm 2.6. And obviously, Chet, get well soon.
Evan Mobley.
Evan Mobley is not in the top 8, but he's number 9. Evan Mobley is at number 9 with 1.7.
Miles Turner.
Miles Turner's number 8 with 1.8. Now, that's one I will say. Miles Turner. Not good.
He loves blocks.
That's a real block merchant.
He loves getting blocks.
Walker Kessler.
One thing about him.
Walker Kessler's number 2. He's been fantastic, 2.8.
Rudy Gobert?
Rudy Gobert, shockingly, not here. He's number 14.
Oh, okay.
Jared Allen?
Jared Allen is not here. He's leaving all the blocks to Evan Mobley. Jared Allen's number 17. Though.
Wild card. Amen Thompson or Tari Eason.
No, they are not here. If we got into the steals category, though, probably
They both
would
had
be
like
here.
4 blocks the other day.
I love those guys.
Back-to-back games.
It's fun to watch the Rockets, honestly.
Is it Brooke Lopez?
Brooke Lopez, not here.
Go his partner.
I capped. He's number 5.
partner.
He's number 5 with 2.1 blocks.
Giannis?
No. Brooks here. I made a mistake.
Yeah,
He's number 5.
That's what I'm saying. Like, go his partner. Maybe Giannis. He gets a lot of blocks, right?
No, Giannis is not here.
Stinky.
No, I don't see him.
Who do we got? Zubac?
Zubac is not here. You guys are missing an obvious one. Come on.
AD.
Yes, number 6.
Claxton.
Claxton is not here.
He hasn't really played much minutes.
He's
this
number
year.
18, though.
Yeah,
It's a fucked up world, man.
it is.
Getting some more playing
It's
time.
unfortunate.
AD's number 6 with 2 blocks a game.
Okay.
You're missing number 4, number 7, and number 10. I will say number 7 and number 10 got to get into a slight mini bag.
Robert Williams.
No.
That'd be too exciting.
Number 4, I guess you kind of got
Are
into
these bigs left?
yeah,
They're all bigs
yeah,
left? Okay.
yeah.
Wanted to make sure because I was
There's
going to say Bilal.
one that you got to get into your bag. There's one.
Big.
Yes.
Okay.
He's a starter?
I don't.
You mentioned Evan
believe
Mobley,
so.
right?
Yeah, we said Mobley.
Jared Allen?
Said
said
Jared
Jared
Allen.
Yeah,
Allen.
he's not.
Mm,
I don't think he is. No, this guy's not. I don't believe he is.
So
Jonathan Isaac?
No.
is one of those guys injured
Wendell?
right now?
I don't believe they
Yves
are.
Misi.
He's number 11. Great guess. Though.
Oh.
That is a good guess.
He's averaging 1.5, but he's 11. All right.
Damn.
Come on, y'all got this.
We good.
Yeah, I
Just give us
got
some time.
this.
Give us some
Y'all
time.
got
Give us
this.
some time.
I'll start to give a hint after your last guess. After your next guess.
Bam Adebayo.
Not a bad guess.
Nah, he's on a block.
Number
Top
12.
10
That's
block.
what you got to get into your mini bag. I'm going to allow one more guess, then I'll give a hint.
Don't give us a hint, bro. We
Yeah,
don't need it.
I feel like y'all are kind of.
We don't need it.
Yves Misi was an amazing guess.
She kind of blew me that he's 11. I'll be honest.
Nick Richards.
No.
So get in a little bag.
That is a mini
terrible.
bag.
That's terrible.
That is a mini bag.
Oh,
he's
Clint
been injured.
Capella.
Nope.
Onyeka.
Nope.
Oh. All right, gotta try both guys.
All right, I need a Joel guess now.
Jalen Dern.
Tari Easton's number 29. Jalen Duren's not here.
Fuck no.
What
But
team was
no,
that when we
that
said?
is-
A fucking Nurkic?
No.
No, Guida. Nemius. What's his
Buscelli?
name? No. On Boston.
Quetta.
Oh, Kada?
No.
Kada.
No.
Not up there?
No.
Seen him block 3 shots. I just assumed he's up here.
Y'all are sleeping.
Let us sleep.
Y'all are sleeping on this guy.
Let's name teams.
I talked about him the last time we spoke about basketball.
Sabonis?
No.
What teams haven't we talked about?
So we said the Kings, obviously nobody.
Yeah. No one on Denver? Payne Watson? Probably doesn't play enough.
No, he said Biggs. Said Biggs. So nobody in Denver. Houston, Sengun?
No, Sengun is one of the league leaders, though. He's 20.
So let's take him off. What we got? Nobody in Golden State.
Okay, just let's go down the
Here we
list
go.
of teams in the East.
Hence,
West or East? That helps a lot.
here we go. I will say one's in the East, two are in the West.
Let's knock out the West first.
Knock out
So,
the West.
Draymond Green.
No.
Okay.
The Nuggets,
No.
the Timberwolves, we named Gobert. That wasn't correct, right?
Nobody else.
The Derek Lively?
No.
Okay.
Daniel
Gafford?
Gafford.
No.
Oh, see, I feel
So
like
the
we're there.
Mavericks, no.
Cut him out.
So let's go to the next team in the West.
Suns,
The
no.
Suns, Ryan.
He shot.
Probably Ryan Dunn's like the only guy,
Yeah, he
right?
said
Warriors,
Biggs. He
no.
said Biggs. Warriors, no.
Lakers, we said.
We said AD already. He's up
Yeah.
there.
Kings, no.
Memphis. Edie.
Jaren.
No.
Oh, Jared.
Jackson
Okay.
Jr.
No.
Oh, Santi Aldama.
No.
J Huff.
Yes.
J Hub.
Nice.
J Huff is number 7.
Somebody had
And like
to go.
15 minutes a game, he's averaging
he's-
1.9
he's a dog.
I
blocks.
saw some stat. Him and Wemby are the only players to average 1.5 threes and 1.5 blocks per game.
No, J Huff is catching
And
hoops
one gets
backwards.
hype and one doesn't. Can you believe that?
Oh shit. He's 27, bro.
DeAndre
All right, so you
Ayton,
got the one you had to get into your bag for.
DeAndre Ayton?
No.
Donovan Clingan.
Yes.
Shaq, he
Donovan
doesn't play
Clingan
much.
is
Yeah,
number
I was
10.
saying,
He's
really
averaging 1.6 blocks a game.
Okay, so who's
Number
We got
4
one left in the East.
in the East.
All right.
Lock in.
Let's
No
do
one,
it. Let's do it.
No one Boston.
No.
We said Cavs already.
We said Knicks.
Said Knicks. Said
said Heat.
Pacers.
Pacers.
Said Heat. Detroit. We didn't. Duran, no.
The Magic, like maybe Wendell
We
Carter
said.
Jr.
I said Wendell and
or
Isaac.
Goga Bataze.
Damn, y'all haven't been locked in? This would have been one of my first guesses.
Cat?
No. God, no.
We brought in the Hornets in here. The Raptors, Jakob
No.
So the Raptors, no.
Zubac clears him, by the way. Just want you to
Jakob's been a dog this year, but even still,
Enough.
Zubac's been better. Can I give credit? Yo.
It's okay. Zubac's just.
Yeah, he's OD.
So who else is in the East? We mentioned the Pistons already. The Hornets, we mentioned them.
I feel like we're saying the same teams over and
Chicago?
over again.
No.
Hey!
Fucking,
No.
Yeah,
No
it was-
fucking way. Vooch?
No.
Oh, good God. Thank God.
Wow.
Who else is in
Alexander
these?
Sarr.
Yes.
Shout out to Alex.
That's actually
Sarr.
shocking as
Number
fuck.
4. He's
having
averaging
a good- he's having a
2.4
good
blocks a game,
defensive
bro. He's
season.
been a demon.
Yeah, he's just shooting like 30% from
He
the
is.
field.
Tough ball.
He is.
That's why I didn't think about him, really.
Offense doesn't matter when we're talking about blocks.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but if you're not scoring,
And you,
it's hard
and you
to lock
mentioned injuries. Of course, I was just going to mention Chet being out 8 to 10 weeks. It's a bummer. Obviously, they made a great decision by signing Isaiah Hartenstein to be like that rim protecting anchor. Well, not really, but do the dirty work while you have your rim protecting anchor in Chet Holmgren. And Chet Holmgren was on his way to being a DPOY candidate. But the hope was that you'd have both of them. Then you have Isaiah Hartenstein come to the season with the hand injury. And now, of course, Chet, a nasty fall. A really horrific play to watch. And then, of course, he fractures his hip out 8 to 10 weeks. Pretty terrible. But luckily enough, Isaiah Hartenstein should be back in around 1 to 2 weeks. I'm seeing 10 days, 14 days. They could come back. That'd be enormous for them. But it would, in a way, be easier for Isaiah to incorporate himself in the team during the season, where now you don't have to see how you look with Chet Holmgren and how you're going to stagger minutes. He can now know, I'm going to be our center. I'm going to hold it down for us, similar to how he did with Mitchell Robinson in New York Knicks while Mitch was out. I think that it'll help him get incorporated with the team a lot quicker now that Chet's out. But, of course, you would have loved to have them both.
Here we go.
Blindly ranking.
6 names. You know how it goes. Blindly ranking players that were born in that beautiful state of Texas.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm
So
cooked.
random.
This is so gonna get funny.
Yeah.
First name up, Jimmy Butler.
Such a random list. Like I don't know off the top of my head who the fuck was born in Texas.
That's the humor in it all.
Jimmy Butler's great. Can we go 2? I don't
Right?
know.
I just don't know. Texas is a big state.
Should we go 2?
There's a lot
Is
of
it
players
just
I
NBA
know that are
players
from
or
Texas.
NFL?
Of course. NFL. NBA. I'm sorry. Why would it be NFL?
Fuck you,
You can do
Riv.
both.
Okay. You can look it up if you want.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
I never said you couldn't.
No,
I
it's
hate-
not. Let's try to go blind
I
into
can't
this.
do that.
It's
Can't do
blindly
blind
ranking, to be
rankings.
fair.
All right.
So we got
Jimmy
Three?
Butler, 2.
3.
yeah, we got to go with 2.
You guys fucking overrate him. He could be the best. I don't fucking know.
Next name up, Marcus Smart.
5.
Sure. We both said 5.
You know what?
Celtic
Maybe
legend,
we
though.
could get a worse player.
Yeah.
5.
Marcus is DPOY. Wait, 4? I'm
5.
on.
So 5?
5.
Okay, cool. Miles Turner.
6.
Shout out to Big Miles with the
OD.
Texas.
Miles better than Marcus Turner.
Here we go.
Marcus Turner. Miles is better than Marcus Smart right now. So
Right now, yeah, but all time, nah.
all time. What have you
time
done
for
all
Rose
time?
Garden.
Deep boy. Deep boy.
It's conversations like this that I
Celtics
love.
traded him and
All
then
time
won.
talks to role players.
Yeah,
right
I
here.
mean, we fleeced. So what do you want me
Who
to do?
makes the Hall of Fame faster? Marcus Smart.
None of them.
Probably not.
They have like the same chances.
He's 6.
There's no way right now in 2024 you're telling me I'm taking Marcus Smart on my team over
not.
Miles Turner.
No, this is all time. This is all time, brother.
This is all
Miles
time.
Turner was a demon, bruh.
All right, D-Boy.
But
Demon?
Marcus
Come
Smart
on.
was a demon in college too. That's why he was the top 10
big,
pick.
Big Oklahoma State guy,
Yeah.
man.
Right, 6.
Miles Turner went to Texas.
Big Texas.
6.
You know what? Now Miles Turner is at 4 because he actually went to college
Brother,
in
he's
Texas,
not here yet.
and he
6'4".
represented Texas.
So we're getting the 6 with Miles Turner. Next, name up. LaMarcus Aldridge.
Okay.
Wait, we put Jimmy at 2?
Yep, 3.
Oh, you put Jimmy at 2.
I understand this, but I'm saying
3?
I don't think we can make an argument for 1. We can't. We can't.
Jimmy over LA all time?
Yeah, easy. Easy.
I think that's a bad take.
It's 3. Yeah, let's go. On delay.
I felt racist.
He's
Next,
Hispanic. It's not.
you telling me to rush is kind of nuts, bro.
That's a different statement.
So always got to
Next name up, Keontae George.
4, maybe now I don't hate myself for that statement anymore.
Keontae George is crazy.
Should we just put Keontae George 1?
We're putting him 4, man.
Just for the memes.
We're putting him fucking
one.
4.
Keontae's 4.
So to
Miles
round
Turner
off,
snubbed.
so really. So to round off your players
Facts, low key.
that you ranked that were born in Texas, at number 6, you put shout out to the Texas Longhorns. You put Miles Turner here. Number 5, Marcus Smart with Oklahoma State. Number 4, Keontae George. Number 3, LaMarcus Aldridge. Shout out to LaMarcus Aldridge. Portland Trailblazers legend.
And Keontae George went to Baylor. That's in Texas.
Talk. Number 2, Jimmy Butler. And number 1, the nasty number 1, Wesley Matthews, my brothers in
Oh,
Christ.
Wesley.
You have been jinxed. And I hate that for you. Drew, you thought you beat me.
That was
I
such
own
a
you.
random list.
I don't feel bad about this at all.
Next state could be Florida.
I'm not posting this.
Oh, Florida. Maybe instead you should do like instead of where they're from, maybe the college they went to.
Too easy.
You think so?
Yeah, I had no idea what anyone was coming up right now.
No, but he also could pull fucking, like, we could know. He could give us a list of 20 names and we don't
still
know what
wouldn't
to
know.
be. Yeah, like,
I could pull some bums. Now I had to look up Texas. And I was like, oh, this list shit.
I only claim blind rankings when I know what I'm talking
I
about.
understand. My this week in the NFL. I talk a lot about Caleb Williams. Stock was super high before the draft. I want to see where his stock is now. So Caleb Williams, would you rather?
We're back.
First name up, number 2 overall pick, Jaden Daniels.
I think I'm still taking the hype of Caleb Williams and the potential over Jane Daniels.
I think Jaden Daniels doesn't get enough credit for how much composure he has within the pocket. It's something that I didn't know if he would have or not in the NFL because I thought it was a concern in college. His pocket presence, he took a lot of sacks. He didn't stand and deliver in pressure. I'll go with Jaden because I feel like those question marks have been answered at least somewhat in the NFL.
I really like watching the Commanders play football. I'm going with Jaden.
I think I'd go with Jaden too. Drake Maye.
Drake Maye.
It's Drake.
Not even thinking about it.
I stay consistent. I do think Caleb can bounce back in year 2 with a better coach. So I'll go with Caleb still. I still trust in his potential.
I like Drake a lot. I don't know. This is tough. I am gonna go with Caleb.
It's close.
So you think Jaden's better than Drake?
I do.
I respect that.
I think I lean Drake here. Love them both.
Not
like
taking
brothers.
anything away from Drake because Drake has been
Just wanted to
a
ask.
demon with nothing.
And another rookie quarterback, Bo Nix.
Caleb still.
I will also, for the future, understand that Caleb should be better than Bo Nix, but we can state Bo Nix has been better.
Bo Nix is older than Shadir.
Bo Nix has been better. I think like if we had a redraft, then it's the number 1 pick between Bo Nix and Caleb. I think I would still take Caleb.
Yes.
I think of the Jaden and the Drake Maye thing, I can be swayed on because they have like those physical tools on the upside to them. So That's why I think, I would take them over Caleb, but I would still take Caleb over Bo Nix.
I would say Caleb too. We get into some of the vets now. Jalen Hurts.
Give me Hurts.
Well, this Jalen Hurts, yeah.
I would take Hurts.
Jalen.
Tua.
Give me Caleb Williams.
Are we taking injury history into account here?
Would you rather?
Are we taking everything
you
into
make up
account?
whatever
Would you
wanna
rather?
make
Like,
up.
if we're taking everything into account, I guess I would go Caleb.
I'm gonna take my brother too.
I would go Caleb Williams. Dak Prescott.
Dak.
Dak.
Caleb. Caleb.
I think I would go Dak. CJ Stroud.
CJ Stroud.
Yeah, it's CJ.
CJ.
I would go CJ. Geno Smith.
Caleb.
Geno's Geno.
I don't know what that
Geno?
means. 10
Geno.
picks, Geno. Give me Caleb.
I'm gonna go Caleb as well, but that doesn't take away from the fact that I think Geno Smith has been
We gotta
really
get
great.
rid of this
with
Geno
his-
shit, man.
Bro, his offensive line's terrible.
Yeah.
He has no shot to
Like CJ's been
I would go Caleb
bad.
Williams.
Like, can we just say objectively CJ's been bad these last couple of weeks? Like statistically,
His
he's been
offensive
bad.
line-
last 2
But the
weeks for
offensive
sure.
line is the reason why
Sure,
he's
he's
bad.
been bad for sure. CJ's just so much better than Geno. It's like not even close.
He's not so much better than him.
He's better than him. He's better than him. So much is underselling what Geno's doing with.
I don't think it is.
It's a horrendous.
Where do we have
offensive
CJ
line.
right?
Geno's
Like-
in an even worse situation than CJ.
Like I think,
Is he?
I think
Yeah.
CJ is like a fringe top 10 quarterback right now.
I mean, they both have terrible offensive.
Hey, yeah,
they both have terrible
there's
offensive
like-
lines. They have weapons. Their weapons are good when healthy. I don't trust Bobby Slowick at all as an offensive play caller.
There's like a sizable gap between the Seahawks offensive line and then like the next worst offensive line.
And that's saying
guess that's
something because
fair.
the Texans O line's bad.
I guess that's fair to say. I mean, I don't think it's like both of them have really good number one receivers.
They do, but DK's been hurt. Just like
I think
Nico's been
Seattle
hurt
has a
these last
better
couple weeks.
running back. I think Kenneth Walker's
They
better
do,
than Joe
but
Mixon.
they can't run the ball.
Yeah,
It's
they
like the
struggle.
same thing with the Texans. Like they just both can't
I
run
don't know.
the
I
ball.
feel like walking in this year, we had CJ ranked like 7th, and Geno probably in like the 14th.
well, you had
15th range.
CJ over Justin Herbert.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you
no,
did.
I didn't. No, 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 I didn't.
You probably did.
I said I would take CJ for sure.
Okay.
For sure. But ranking,
I would have
no.
taken Justin Fields too.
Yeah, but ranking, I have Herbert at like
I remember
5.
that day you said it's a hot take. CJ over
For sure.
Justin Herbert.
I would take I'm taking CJ over everybody, but probably
Taking him
Josh
over
Allen.
God?
Yeah, like that's what I'm doing. But nah, CJ was ranked like
we
6, 7.
we just seen Geno with less talent, you could say, in Shane Waldron's offense perform at a much higher level than Caleb. Like he actually made it look like, oh, this
Bro,
might
he's-
not be
he's
that
like,
bad.
He's like 10 years older than
Yeah, it
him.
was like Geno's
a
like
lot more
12
experience.
well, it's not. I mean,
He's played behind.
It's not
Hall of
about being
Famers.
10 years older. It's about who's better.
No.
This is what you rather.
Would you
This
rather?
is
You just
also-
asked about injuries
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all that.
That's
I
not
can
just
just
who's better
go
right
in
now.
thinking
You
I
know
would
that.
take the potential.
Because who's better right now, Bo Nix or Caleb? You would have gone Bo.
Yeah, but they're both like relatively young in their careers.
I'll be honest, bro. Caleb in year 3 is going to clear what Geno just did last year.
Maybe.
No, like 100% of my mind.
Yeah, I mean Geno was great last year.
Yeah, I don't think that's a hot take either.
Yeah. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. It's not off to a good start right now.
Come on, brother.
That's
Lock
why
the fuck in.
year 3. I mean, Geno to start off his career was not good.
No,
It
I
did-
mean he didn't do
He
anything
didn't have
for
a chance.
almost a decade.
Well,
Well, no, brother, he had a chance.
No, he didn't.
bro.
No, he did. He
I
went-
mean, okay, yeah, the system
first year,
wasn't good.
first year with the
Quarterback's
Jets. First year with the Jets, his best receivers sucked. Like the Jets were an offensive mess. And then second year when he was supposed to start, he got a broken jaw because his teammate punched him in the face. And he didn't.
That
and then
sounds
after
like-
that, Fitzpatrick had a magical year. The Jets re-signed him,
Mm-hmm.
and then Geno didn't get a chance to start after that. So then he had to go to the Giants, and they benched Eli Manning for him. So the Giants fan base didn't embrace him at all. They hated his guts because Eli was benched for him. So yeah, like he bounced around the league, but not because of anything of his own. Just never had nobody to believe in
They
him.
wrote
But
him off.
the moment that
He ain't right
a
back.
team believed in him, he delivered.
delivered what?
Couple
A
names left.
playoff appearance with a Hall of Fame quarterback leaving town.
That's delivering.
Yes,
Fucking Geno.
he was awesome.
A playoff appearance is delivering.
Yes,
Bro, the
Geno
year after
delivered.
Russ left, yes, he delivered.
We thought that was one of the worst teams in football.
Correct. I gave them 0 wins.
I mean, you did for sure. I mean, I guess
They thought Drew Lock was going to win it over him.
Yes.
God's honest truth. That was calling for it.
I don't, because I don't look at Seattle as like a franchise that's like so in the mud that just going to the playoffs is delivering.
Well,
So-
they
No,
just
but
lost.
compared to
Russ.
expectations.
They
I mean, this was a
overachieved.
team that
They
was going
overachieved
into
as
a
fuck.
complete rebuild with Geno Smith.
Yeah, they overachieved as fuck. Deliver. I mean, I guess.
On the list of like the problems that the Seahawks have right now,
Yes,
like
I get it.
Geno Smith
Geno
is like
not
on the
one
bottom of the
no,
bottom
but
of the
he's
list.
He's not gonna like will them to a championship either.
Well, how many
How
quarterbacks
many
can do that?
exactly?
Probably
the only
first 10.
quarterbacks to win championships really in the last couple of years have been Mahomes and Tom Brady.
But we're not sitting there saying Josh Allen can't lead them to the championship just because Mahomes.
Stafford was able to get one.
The first 10 quarterbacks we probably think
yeah,
can do it.
I mean, Allen is he's in the elite of the elite level tier of quarterbacks.
Well, Stafford can do it. Jalen Hurts has led them there.
Can Stafford will? I mean, he was on a really stacked Rams team.
Okay, 3 game-winning drives.
I think he can do it. I mean,
He's game-winning drives.
If Stafford was on this Seahawks team, no, like you're measuring Geno Smith by a situation that could never be a championship
the year
team.
Staffy made the playoffs with the Rams, we thought they would also be a shit show too.
They
Was that
lost
last year?
in
2
the
years
wild
ago?
card.
2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago. We thought they'd be a shit show too.
They
And
lost.
they went on a
Stafford
run.
delivered.
And they went on a run
Yes.
towards
Yeah,
the
I
middle
agree.
of the end of
But
the year.
that's not the conversation. He said,
I'm agreeing with
But
you.
I wouldn't sit here and say that Stafford delivered anything. Like they just made the playoffs.
No, they were 2-6.
they're one of the hottest teams in the
They
league.
got him there, but
He played like one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
You're getting mad at him saying he delivered.
Nah, we just having a regular car. I'm actually not upset.
No, I'm just saying like Geno Smith, like he's not in a situation where a championship is even viable. Like that's not even something that can like realistically happen.
fair.
If you put Geno Smith on the Green Bay Packers, I think they're still contenders.
What's Geno doing on the Broncos?
You guys making playoffs?
That speaks more on Jordan.
But
Love
I think
than
we're making the
anything.
playoffs with Bo. So what is like?
Well, whatever it is,
Nothing
with
changes.
Bo, like
Ceiling
That's what I'm
or
saying.
floor.
What's I'm really asking?
well, it's higher. The ceiling is still higher. With
The
Geno
regular
Smith.
season's
like,
higher. Like you would win more regular season games for sure.
Would we be better than the Chargers?
Be close.
That now becomes like a realistic conversation. Yes, it
Look,
does.
that's still a realistic.
It is a
conversation.
realistic
But like
conversation.
Geno Smith on any of these top echelon teams, like replace him with Jared Goff. I don't think there's a drop off. I think the Lions are still one of the best teams in the NFC.
I agree.
Like if you
That speaks
replace
more in
Geno,
Detroit, though, in my opinion.
it does. But if you put Geno, any quarterback has to be in a good situation to get that far.
If
Like,
Geno went to the Giants, this is a real litmus test. What happens?
they might, there's in a playoff hunt.
They hover around 500.
They're in the hunt.
They probably end up winning like 7 or 8 games.
Because their
but they
offensive
hover.
line still do too, especially without Andrew Thomas.
Daniel Jones just.
So wait, they're basically what Seattle is right now.
They're better.
Seattle's more talented than
Way
the Giants.
No, I'm saying like if you put Geno on the Giants, they're just hovering around 500, like probably 4-6, 4-7.
Yeah, I mean you have.
Well, what are the Giants right now? 2-7.
yeah, Seattle's like 4-6.
number one pick right now. Seattle's 4-5.
Oh yeah, they're not like the Seattle's not these world beaters
I mean, they're hovering around 500, and the Giants are battling for the number 1 pick.
for sure. I mean that's just
They just lost Carolina.
Well, to be fair, Giants beat Seattle.
wow.
Case closed.
Forgot that.
Case closed.
Yeah, I forgot they did beat him.
Jason Myers block kick.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Geno cool. It's no real knock on Geno, man. I just think like
You took Geno over Caleb. Is that where this stemmed from?
I forgot
Yeah.
what it stemmed from. Honestly,
Yeah, I'm taking Caleb.
No, it stemmed from a couple things. Taking Geno over Caleb, then the delivering statement, then
Geno's a good quarterback.
Geno can't
He's a good
will a team
quarterback.
to the championship.
No, it stemmed from because we were talking about CJ Stroud, and I was like, it's a gap, and he was like, it's not a gap, and then I was like, I feel like it is a gap. Like we had him ranked 7th, and Geno's like 15th, 14th. It seems like a sizable gap to me.
Geno's really good.
Brother, the Hawks beat you guys.
I know.
You see
bro,
how he got?
fucking
He turned the phone. He didn't speak
Double
about
O had a
basketball.
fucking tip-in. A tip-in
What is going to pull out
layup.
heartstrings? Who's better, CJ Stroud or Kyler Murray?
Who's that pulling for heartstrings?
OD.
I adore Kyler Murray, so that doesn't hurt me.
No, I'm saying
be
no.
like
I'm saying
back-to-back.
you love both, and you have to pick one. That's
I'll
why
take
I'm saying-
CJ. This doesn't hurt
I think
me.
I would take CJ, but that's incredibly close.
Yeah, but if you say Kyler's better, you're not getting a single argument.
I'm
from me.
taking K1. Y'all disrespect his throwing
Kyler's
for whatever
just-
reason.
I don't know. He could just be up and down.
Nah, I
Like,
love Kyler.
Kyler
No,
has bad games
general.
again when he should be good, and good games are supposed to be bad sometimes. I feel like he's just more inconsistent than CJ.
This offense is starting to hum.
Yeah.
It's starting to hum.
Who are you taking? Because you've been fake.
I don't think CJ is what people thought he would be after his rookie season, which would be like stamped top 5.
Like better than Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
kinda, That's what people said.
and Herbert too. That's
said
another
that?
one.
Yes. No, not you. I'm just saying like people.
You said I might.
And that's the thing. Like when young quarterbacks have a fantastic season, they get propped up, and it's deserved in moments. Like CJ is spectacular, and like as a quarterback, pound for pound, him and Murray, I would take CJ. I think CJ like long term, I would prefer him.
Because he can win in the pocket.
I just think he's taller, like just a better arm. But then Kyler has his
Shouldn't
things.
you be riding for the Short Kings?
I do. I'm a big fan of Vegeta.
I like that.
Yeah, I've realized he was like 5'2", 5'3".
He is very short.
He's tiny, yeah. Jaden Daniels now, like I put out this tweet of like the top 5 quarterbacks, and people were like saying Jaden is top 5 and stuff, and
I did see that.
These young
That tweet
quarterbacks,
did well.
yeah, it did. Like these young quarterbacks tend to like get a little bit overrated when they go over the expectations that initially were set for them. So what I'm trying to say is that I think like after the top 5, the solidified top 5, I think Matthew Stafford is kind of sitting at like a table next in line, like in his own table, in his own seat. And then you have quarterbacks like CJ, like Kyler, like Dak Prescott, like Jordan Love and Hurts and Geno Smith. And those quarterbacks all to me seem like they're bundled up in like the same kind of tier. And, you know, all of them in a similar situation can yield the same results.
Respectfully, Matthew Stafford is not at the table with Geno Smith.
I didn't say that.
No, he didn't say that.
No, he said Stafford's at a
He
table
said
by
Stafford's
himself.
by
Oh,
himself.
like
And there's
Stafford
another
has his own table, then it's him.
Then it's the other guys. Yeah.
Okay, misread.
Then it's like
Yeah, 'cause
Kyler, and then
I feel like Stafford is comfortably
Well,
better.
you're
and
than
I
saying
think Purdy's in there too.
Yeah.
And then
Where's
like the
Tua?
next tier, I would have like Goff and Tua. And I think Baker Mayfield is like working his way out of that.
You saw
but he's like in it too.
So I tweeted Baker, Geno. 85% of people took Baker. That was after his fucking like to play on Nick Bosa. But
Yeah, listen, Baker's awesome. Baker is
he's
awesome.
having a great year.
But you know, there's people saying Baker's top 5 too. You know, whenever
Tampa fans.
quarterbacks play well, it's
Not against that.
I don't even think they're trolling. You know,
Tampa
A lot of them.
fans.
You're a
Tampa fans
burner.
for sure.
I don't know.
Hey,
Maybe.
I'm a full-blown fan of Baker Mayfield now. He's won me over in Tampa Bay. He shut up a lot of people, including myself,
Shit cool over there.
and he's been eating.
He's been having a great year.
I give him a lot of praise.
Banged up weapons too. Lose your offensive coordinator. Fucking have injuries at
that's
running
it.
back and all this shit.
Go ball out.
Just to wrap up the Caleb Williams, would you rather? Kyler Murray.
K1.
K1.
Kyler,
I would say Kyler. Brock Purdy.
Purdy.
I'm going Caleb. No slight to Purdy because Purdy, I think, is legitimately great.
I'm going Caleb.
It's tough because I love my brother Brock, but I'm going Caleb here.
Going with a brother.
Brock is a brother, man. I don't care what nobody says. He's my brother for sure.
I don't know. He didn't seem to bat an eye when Nick Bosa
Sabotaged.
sabotaged his interview.
I have no comments about Nick Bosa. I don't speak on that man, Nick Bosa. But Brock Purdy, Max Crosby, George Kittle.
Shit.
Bro.
Did you see
Honestly-
the jokes that were made when Baker like
Oh, and like he
stiff
fake, like
arm
yeah, he
Nick
fake, like
Bosa?
let go, like yeah, Nick Bosa.
People were like Nick Bosa, you know, he didn't. If that was like Lamar Jackson, he would have like took him down with force.
I'm sure there's a lot of people in that locker room who voted for Trump.
Oh my God.
You're making so much money.
A lot of people
regardless
in the
skin
league
color.
voted for Trump.
Hey, listen, over half of America essentially voted for Trump. He won the popular vote, right?
And yeah, you're making that much money. Trump's good for you.
No, Trump washed.
So
unfortunately.
I have another would you rather. This is a would you rather Ivica Zubac edition. Some real ball knower stuff right
we
here.
go.
17-13 this season.
Hopefully somebody
He's
at this table
playing
can right
awesome.
his wrongs right here.
Yo, get off me. All
all
I
I'm
said
saying.
was
It's-
Pirtle was better, and Pirtle's been great this
You
year.
said a few actually other days.
Who?
I forgot.
Who?
That's all. We'll see.
DeAndre Ayton.
There's some that are going to be on
Hope
here.
he didn't say. He did. Oh
Right?
my
Was he one
fucking
of them?
god, he did. He did say DeAndre
Okay,
Ayton. Thank you,
first-
Dehls.
Joe,
First,
what the fuck was that about?
Idiot.
first name up, Miles Turner.
I'm taking Zubac, man. Miles Turner's a fake defender.
He is a fake defender,
a lot
but
of
he
block
could.
stuff.
He
His
gets
offense
blocks.
is
and he
kind
can
of good.
shoot.
It's his vibes. His
He
vibes.
could fucking
He fits
space.
well in Indiana. I think
He
for
does.
Indiana, I would take Miles. But
I
in
think
the
I would take-
overall vacuum, I'll take Zubac.
I would take Miles.
I'm gonna take Miles also.
Of course. Fuck.
I think it's really close.
Fuck you, buddy. I'm not just gonna roll over and just be like, yeah, Zubac.
That was
Yo,
real shit.
in a vacuum,
You're my brother.
in a vacuum,
You're my brother.
DeAndre Ayton is talented.
I don't give a
Okay,
fuck.
so let's speak to that point. DeAndre Ayton.
It's clear as day.
taking
Zubac. He
I'm
comes
taking
to work
Zubac.
every day. He works hard. He gets fucking.
He doesn't let
buckets.
snow
Ayton's got
stop
the
him.
pretty stat pad. You know those type of numbers. But Zubac this year is giving you
Zubac,
those
give me
numbers
that
now.
shit. Boom, boom. That's it. You're not stopping
I'm gonna
it.
take-
He dunked on Chet. Bad. A few times. Bad. Like, don't forget that.
I'm gonna take Zubac, but
This guy.
Ayton is talented. That's
Bro,
all
we've
I'm
been
saying.
saying that for his
I'm
whole
taking
life.
Zubac. I mean, Ayton is talented. He's the number one overall pick. Jared Allen.
Jared.
Jared's been a
Jared
dog
got the
this
little
year.
hook now.
He got injured last night.
a little bit. Yeah.
Nikola Vucevic.
Oh, give me Zubac.
Yeah, Zubac.
Vooch been eating this
Yeah,
year.
it tends to happen
Yeah,
with bums. They start nice real early. And
Dude,
Fuck
I
you,
do
buddy.
not-
I'm
I do
going
not buy
Vooch.
into that shit.
Are you serious?
I don't give a
You're
fuck.
crazy.
Vooch
You
has
forgot
been
last
eating.
year?
You
I
forgot
don't
last, like,
care.
2
We're talking about
years.
this.
Last
Zubac
2
was
years, no.
calm last year. He was good.
And
Brother,
Vooch last
Vooch
2
was
years.
terrible.
Last 2
But
years.
this year he's been great.
Zubac
He's
has
been great.
pretty much consistently
Okay,
going up.
Okay.
Vooch
But
has been consistently going down. Up until
That's
these
not
first
true.
10, up until these first 10 games, He's been great.
You hate him. You hate him.
You get milked too much by these quick early games.
That's what you're doing with Zubac right now.
No, Zubac was better last year by far.
He was.
Like,
but this year, it's been pretty conversational.
Nah, if you factor in defense, no.
Oh my God.
You don't know. But okay,
Which
whatever.
is crazy.
This might be a tricky
Crazy?
name.
No, it's not crazy.
Because if we would have done this at the
Last
beginning
year,
of the
yes.
season, we wouldn't think twice
Yes, because
about it.
Vooch was dog shit last year, but this year he's actually been really good.
You think it lasts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Next name up, Rudy Gobert.
Rudy.
I'll take Rudy.
Come
Respect.
on, man.
Yeah, I'll take
And
Rudy.
I don't even fuck with Rudy, but it's Rudy.
I'll take Rudy for sure.
Alperen Şengün.
I'll take Alpi.
I'll take Sengun. You have to think about this, but you took fucking Aiden?
It makes. I did not take
Took
Aiden.
Vooch.
Oh, Sengun clears Vooch.
Not this year.
It's no, Sengun these last 3 games has been wild.
But I'm not going to disagree with that. I'm going to take Sengun.
You didn't want to take him.
Brooke Lopez.
Oh my God.
Zubac.
Zubac. Jesus Christ.
Give me Isaiah Jackson over Brook Lopez.
Oh my God.
Just can't move
give me Zoo.
anymore.
Nick Claxton.
Nick.
This is a conversation.
Yeah.
And I like this conversation.
I would take Claxton.
One is offense, one is defense. One gives me a little
He's
bit
just
more
on the
offensively.
Nets.
That's
just
the
kinda
thing.
useless,
Like
you know?
what? I can't see anything. He doesn't have a real pick and
But
roll
I
partner.
think if he goes to a place that is winning, he would be amazing.
Nets are winning right now.
That's fair. They almost beat the Celtics.
They're
It
playing
must
well.
be Cleveland. He's had a fucking stroke.
They got to
I'll
trade
take-
Dennis Schroeder before they fuck around and win
Saying
25
Vooch is
games.
crazy is
I'll take
disgusting.
Clax. But it's so I'll take Clax, but it's tough.
Last
But
name
not
up.
Vooch?
Clax clears Vooch.
My God, clear.
No, Vooch is arguably
Why
one of
do
the
you
worst
hate
bigs in the
Vooch
league.
so much?
I
Because he ruined the franchise.
watched him be a pick and pop player with no pop. Like he had no jumper in him, bro.
He lost his 3-point shot. He really fucking was a sniper. Yo, he's been shooting the shit out of the ball
I
this
guarantee
season.
you it doesn't last. What's the percentage?
Do I
No
think
way.
he shoots
40%,
47?
yeah.
No.
It'll come down to 33.
If he falls down 33 from 47, that means
Yo,
he went fucking
that's
like
bad.
over
Brother,
20
he can
for
do
a
it.
stretch.
Last name, Isaiah Hartenstein.
I'm going to take Isaiah Hartenstein.
I would say Hartenstein. It's close though. That's probably the low key might be.
Because
the closest
Hartenstein
one.
has a nice...
I'll take Zoo.
I'm
Bro.
taking Zoo.
I'll take
What
Zoo.
the
Oh,
fuck?
fell off.
He's not on the
Yeah,
Knicks
yeah.
anymore.
Fell off. That's what I'm saying. He
I'll take
fell
Zoo.
off.
It's
No,
close.
I'm
They were on the
sorry.
same
I'm
team.
not hearing it. I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing it.
Why?
Defensively, it's not a conversation.
I agree.
Offensively, Zoo is the better scorer
Better
for
post-up
sure.
player.
But at the same time, connecting the offense, Hartenstein is a fine
Zubac
offensive
is
player.
not bad. When they
I'm
send
not
the
gonna
double
say
to
you're not-
Harden,
no.
he kicks
But
off, zoop,
Hartenstein,
zoop, turn.
Hartenstein has really good touch around the
I
rim
agree.
as
So
well.
does Zubac.
But he's also an All NBA level defender.
I agree. Zubac ain't no slouch defensively.
But he's not
He's not
Hartenstein.
Hartenstein on defense, but I think as a post-up scorer,
No.
Hartenstein is not
Rivs,
Zubac.
Straight face, he's better than Hartenstein.
You can give the ball
close.
to Zubac in a post, and he can create his own offense. You can say
He's
go.
done that for the Clippers.
Hartenstein was giving you some buckets in the playoffs last season.
It was cool.
Yeah, like off like pick and rolls, and then he'll like do a little floater.
Floater
in the
was
short roll.
cash though.
Floater
Yeah,
was
but
definitely
like
money.
not like okay, post up Hartenstein. Let's give it to you. Yeah, you're gonna create a hook. No, that's not his game.
I really don't care about that though.
I really do
personally.
think they're on the same tier, honestly.
But the defense, it's kind of what's separate. Did you take Clax?
Yes.
Come on, brother.
I think Clax is way better than Hartenstein.
Way.
Yeah. I think Clax is way on the defensive side.
In
Yeah.
general, as a player,
No, it's really the defensive side. Like that's why like
Hartenstein was elite last year defensively though.
I think Clax was elite last year too.
I
Just
don't
played for the
disagree.
Nets. Like
Yes.
his ability to switch 1 through
Agreed.
5,
100%
his ability
agree.
to protect the rim. He's long, he's lengthy, and he can in transition he can run. So it's like, and he can handle a little bit. Like it ain't crazy, but he can handle a little bit.
like dribble, you mean?
No, yeah, he can handle a little bit. Like it's nothing too snap.
So
Like you mean like a Mitchell Robinson type shit?
No, way better.
Oh,
Way
whoa,
better.
whoa.
Way
I don't
better.
know.
I mean Mitchell Robinson in the summer runs.
No.
Summer runs Mitch. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Nah, like he can go coast to coast sometimes.
Okay.
But I think
I don't know if Hartenstein can do that.
for Zub and Hardenstein, they played on the same team, so it's like
Jason
interesting.
Embiid was 2 for 11.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's interesting to see their like paths go different ways. But I think like with Zubac, it's really scheme dependent. But like I would rather the big who can give me good defense in like elite post game. That's what it is.
So about elite postgame?
Maybe more great, but you get what I'm saying. I mean, probably
Like,
his numbers are probably like
When
elite
Kawhi
right now.
comes back, are we going to be seeing Zubac in the post this much still?
I think you would be dumb not to keep that in your arsenal.
I don't disagree at all.
So, but I don't.
I think Norman Powell takes the biggest hit points wise.
Which is a fuck up.
I don't think so. You see his shots. them shits are probably not going to be there.
They make
I don't know, but
he makes them.
But bro,
I
even him
agree.
driving.
I agree, but sometimes them threes, them side steps, like them shits ain't going to be there when Kawhi gets there.
I don't know. I've really enjoyed watching Norman Powell play. I mean, I
agree.
love watching
been
Zubac play
playing
ball
better
too.
than Paul
Zubac, you
George.
could like I don't think like Norman Powell. You don't make play like I don't. Let me try to say this by not being disrespectful. You don't draw up plays for Norman Powell's buckets. Like you're drawing up Zubac in the post, 1-on-1 mismatches. Like that's a part of the game plan. Like I don't think Norman Powell he's a free flowing bucket getter. Like he's a guy gets it in transition, goes 1-on-1, like free flowing. Like he gets it with it. Zubac, you really drawing up these plays either in the pick and roll, which him and Harden have probably like the best pick and roll connection in the league right now, or like him in the post up against a switch or something like that. So that's why I think Zubac's stuff is going to be still a part of the offense. With Norman Powell, he's just going to get it within the flow. He's always been like that. Get it within the flow of the offense.
The last question I have for you guys, and then we can move on to these quick NBA and season predictions, is that are we all in agreement that the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL are Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, Burrow, Herbert? Regardless of order, those are the top 5 very best quarterbacks in the league right
It's
now.
been like that for years. I have no reason for it to change. I think the only player that was getting disrespect was Justin Herbert, just because his numbers to start off the year wasn't great. Of course, people talk about how he hasn't won games. I mean, I don't know how you watch Justin Herbert play and be like, oh yeah, he's the reason why the Chargers have been losing these last couple of years. This is the dude they need to replace, not the fucking whole defense and coaching staff and weapons. But no, that's comfortably top 5 for me. Mahomes is number 1, I think, for everybody. Then how you have 2 through 5. I think Lamar and Josh Allen are comfortable top 3. And then Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, 4 and 5.
I've always been vocal about how much I like Justin Herbert. You know, these last couple of seasons, I've not been as strong about it because I haven't seen the winning result. And on top of it, we've just seen him be injured, and the counting stats weren't there either. But I did always believe in the talent that is Justin Herbert. I'd be remiss if I didn't at least show Stafford some love, like you did, saying that he's kind of at that very firm 6. I feel like he deserves that respect of like that 5A, 5B type deal. But I mean, these 5 guys, the talent that they have is unbelievable. Just them as playmakers, I think that's what keeps them in this group alone. And that's the one thing that Stafford doesn't have, but that's never been his game. And also, he's old. He's 36, if I'm not mistaken. He's older. He's still one of the best throwers of the football. He's thrown an interception in 6 straight games, some to look at, I guess. But when in that situation with that offensive line and just the way he plays,
50 times last game.
yeah, the way that he plays, he's just going to be. You mentioned a free-flowing guy, and Norman Powell. Obviously, Stafford's so much better in his craft, but he definitely trusts his arm so much more. I think I'm fine with the 5. You know my opinion on all those guys, but again, Stafford, he's just so amazing.
Yeah, I'm good with the 5. I think 1, 2, and 3 are pretty clear to me just because of what Josh and Lamar can do with their legs and with the arm. Like their arm talent is top of the league, and then on top of that, they can break off 30 to 40 to 50 runs. They can maneuver within the pocket, break off sacks, and just be able to create with both their feet and their arms. It's truly a spectacle. Like I think even they rival Mahomes in that department, but of course the winning and stuff like that. But yeah, the 5 is perfect. I feel like Herbert has been getting his slack. Josh last year with all the turnovers, he was getting his slack. Lamar with the playoff stuff, he's getting his slack. It really just, outside of Mahomes, all 4 of those guys have been given a shit ton of slack about what they couldn't do, what their teams couldn't do. But yeah, those seem like the proper 5.
I feel like the one that's most disrespected in the top 5 is always Justin Herbert. And to those people that disrespect Justin Herbert, I just have like one question to ask. Not to name any other quarterbacks and try to, do a comparison, but, how many other quarterbacks in the league are succeeding in a Greg Roman offense? Ladd McConkey, Quentin Johnson, Will Dissly, Josh Palmer as your best receivers.
Okay, Lamar Jackson, and that's it.
And really an inconsistent run game. Yep. The Chargers offensive line, the tackles are good, but the interior is not that good.
Yep.
Herbert still faces a lot of pressure. What he's doing, the efficiency he's doing at, even if the counting stats might not be what other quarterbacks are, it's the situation that he's thriving in that is the most impressive.
Shout out to Justin Herbert, man.
Yeah, listen, I wish that this is like the one time that I would say I wish I wasn't a Broncos fan because I could prop up Justin a lot more. But at the same time, love my Broncos. But we can acknowledge Justin Herbert is unbelievable.
NBA in-season tournament predictions. This is how the NBA explained how it's going to go this year.
The Emirates Cup.
That's what it's called?
Yes.
Okay. To create the groups, the NBA put all 15 teams in each conference into 5 pots, separated by their finish and last season standings. Pot 1 included the teams that finished 1-3 in a regular season record. Teams 4 and 6 went into pot 2. teams 7 and 9 into pot 3, teams 10 and 12 into pot 4, and teams 13 to 15 into pot 5. As a result, the following groups were drawn. And this is where we're going to do our predictions. Trying to predict the NBA in-season tournament. East Group A, the Knicks, Magic, Sixers, Nets, and Hornets.
I have the Knicks making it out of there. I was optimistic about the Sixers with Embiid coming back tonight. Knicks do win. They do handle business. Embiid was pretty terrible. Jalen Brunson has not been Jalen Brunson this season. But I still think regardless of that, the Knicks should come out of this.
Yeah, I got the Knicks right in this group too. If the Magic were healthy, Paolo was there, we would have some
What was that 5
conversations.
again?
It was the Knicks, Magic, Sixers, Nets, Hornets.
Yeah, I got the Knicks. They just beat Philly too, so yeah, I got the Knicks in that one.
I got the Knicks. I think a dark horse here is the Nets. I think the
They've been
Nets.
so fucking competitive every single game. We mentioned the Cavs. They went down to the wire with Boston. I don't know when they're going to do it. They got to trade Dennis Schroeder and these boys before they win too many games because Schroeder's going out there averaging like 25, 30 a night.
East Group B, the Bucks, Pacers, Heat, Raptors, and Pistons.
Bucks, Pacers, Heat. This one sucks.
This one's ugly. I had the Pacers. I don't trust the Bucks at all. It's one of the worst teams in basketball. The Miami Heat, game to game, Tyler Hero has been playing really
Jimmy
well.
Butler's missed his last
But
two.
Jimmy Butler's been hurt. Bam Adebayo has not been the same Bam Adebayo.
Offensively,
Terry
it's
Rozier
tough.
has been struggling to score. I don't really trust any team in this group, but the Pacers have shown me, I think, the most out of everybody.
What was
Hot
the last
take.
2 teams?
I'm taking the Pistons.
They just won.
They did just beat the Heat.
overtime.
I think the Pistons defense has been playing really firm basketball. And Cade Cunningham, Riv, I really don't have to tell you, but listen, this guy might be MIP this year.
They did have 7 turnovers today.
But
9 assists.
That's what I mean. Yeah, he's gonna.
He's had a triple-double in 3 straight games prior to this one, too, though. He's been amazing.
I don't get mad at Cade.
But this
turnovers,
defense
I'll
has
be
been
honest.
really good.
Some
And
of them.
Some of
Asar,
them are stupid, but it's just get a bucket. Like who else are we really gonna? get
Asar
this
came
ball
back tonight.
I don't think he played.
He did not.
He didn't.
He got cleared today, excuse me.
Yeah, so he'll probably play next game.
This is really tough to predict because the Pacers, they're kind of like finding their way. Halliburton has been playing better as of recently. You don't trust the Bucks. You don't trust the Heat. The Raptors, the talent really isn't there right now. Scotty's injured.
hurt, yeah.
And the Pistons are playing well. I'm going to go with the Pacers as well. I just think right now, after a slow start to the season, they're kind of figuring things out. And based off last season, this is where they shine. They love these moments.
Yeah, I'll go wild card. I'll go Pistons here. I think they played a lot better now to when they played last year. Defensively, they're a lot more engaged. It's really just their fourth quarter scoring. Like in that Pacers game they played early in the year, they were in that game against Boston. They were in that game. It just came down to the clutch. They just are either gassed out and they cannot generate good enough buckets down the stretch. But this team's been playing good so far. So I'll go with Detroit in the wild card one.
The last group in the Eastern Conference,
It's the Cavs.
East Group C, the Celtics, Cavaliers, Hawks, Bulls, and Wizards.
Celtics just lost. Celtics just lost.
I know, but why did he keep...
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. We're
We're going
going to
with the
fuck y'all.
Cavaliers.
I'm just
We're going with the Cavaliers.
Cavaliers.
Casuals.
Cavs, the fucking land.
Cook.
DG's back. Donovan Mitchell's here. The
Getting
Twin
locked up.
Towers. Bo. Donovan, you guys can lock. You've never done it in your life.
Nah, Al Horford, God bless you, brother.
Yeah, Twin Towers are here. Now I got Cleveland in this one. They've it's gonna be the Cleveland Boston, but I got Cleveland.
The
This
real
one.
new DG was back this year. Give me the Cavs easy.
No love for the Bulls, playing somewhat well recently.
No love for Vooch.
Bulls fans.
Do
Lock
they have
in.
an in-season tournament MVP? Did they do that?
They do
Yeah.
give it. Yeah.
LeBron won it
Bulls,
last
but
year.
the Bulls have to go all the way and win it to get the MVP.
NBA Western Conference in-season tournament predictions. West Group A, the Timberwolves, Clippers, Kings, Rockets, and Blazers.
I contemplated the Rockets.
Let's do it. Wait,
Wolves,
Timberwolves,
yeah.
Kings.
Clippers, Rockets,
Let's
Blazers.
stop there.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to acknowledge the Blazers.
I would do it.
That's actually tough.
I would legitimately do it. I think the Wolves slightly edge it out, but if you do it, I'll do it.
I was gonna go Sacramento.
I respect that.
I'm gonna go Sacramento. DeMar has been
playing
seamlessly playing well in his
Malik
role.
Monk just got hurt.
Fuck. You know what? Thank you for telling me that. Keegan Murray also has been struggling mightily
They
from the
can't
3-point
shoot
line.
at all.
And that's really been kind of their calling
You know who
card
has been able to
in the
shoot?
past 2 years.
It's a bonus.
That's a low-key fact. He's kind of been their best 3-point shooter, which is not a good thing.
Yeah, hold that.
Yeah, it's not
Hold
a good
that,
thing
you
at all.
fucking casual.
But the can't call me casual.
No, that's what I'm doing. You're a casual when it comes to Sabonis.
Okay, DeAndre Ayton. Anyways, the Malik Monk injury kind of just scared me away. So now I'm going Houston. I think
Let's
Houston,
go.
they've been playing really well on both ends. They got these demons on the bench that come in and lock shit up. Sengun's been hooping. Jalen Green, listen. Jalen Green's gonna have his inefficient nights. Jalen Green's gonna have his bad shots. But at the end of the day, as long as he comes for you in the clutch, it's kind of what you want. And he's wow.
Listen, he looked at you. I looked at him.
He's been a lot more aggressive in that regard. So, and Fred VanVleet, if he can stop with the bad shots at bad opportune times and can continue to be a playmaker and stop shot hunting, I think this team will really be where they need to be. So I got Houston winning this one.
I like the Rockets pick. I'm going with the Clippers. I think James Harden is going to finish with one championship in his career.
What?
And I think it could be the in-season tournament.
Oh shit! You
like
scared
that
the
one.
fuck out of me.
I'm going with the Timberwolves. I can't believe you're not taking Ant-Man.
Because Harden apparently he's back.
James Harden's I guess he's your OG,
that
so
moved
I
me.
respect
He is back.
I love that.
Oh,
Zubac is here. Norman Powell. Come on, man.
12's
Derrick
back.
Jones Jr. He recently made the NBA Finals. He's a great player, man.
When are they going to talk about what DJJ's doing on the fucking Clippers? When are they going to talk? He's been a dog.
No, you killed me the other day when you texted Kevin Porter Jr. is good for them.
No,
we
that
were
was
like, brother,
crazy.
brother, he's been ass.
so
all
fucking
year.
terrible.
He has his moments.
But
Nah, that game, he
DJJ's
was cooking,
legitimately
though.
been
I wasn't watching
amazing.
the game, but I was just like, bro, there's no way.
No, yeah, that game he was doing
Do
his
you know
shit.
that Derrick Jones Jr. is averaging 40% from three? That's obviously going to come down. But, bro,
Corners, yeah.
yo,
James Harden.
shocking the shit out of me.
Remember when
Not
you
shocking, moving
Remember
the
when you
shit
told
out
me
of me.
Derek White can do this?
What?
Do what James Harden can do?
Can you respect Derek
Clears him.
White?
He had 30 tonight, actually.
Clears
Lost.
him. You see, bro? Clears
Derek
him.
White
this
has
is
30.
Joel.
But clears him.
But Derek White's amazing.
But clears him,
He's
bro.
chatting.
Like,
He's
what's
chatting.
30.
Derek, like, Jerry
The best rim
Tarzo,
protecting guard in the NBA.
Yo, also, James Harden hasn't been efficient either.
he can't be. Look what the fuck he's doing all day.
Yeah, and he's being guarded by like elite level defenders. No, but listen, Kevin Porter Jr. I don't think should be in the NBA based off what he did. But now that we're
Stop laughing.
now that we're in the situation we're in, and the Clippers have no picks, they have to gamble on felons, right? So freaking, that's just the situation they're in, allegedly. But you look at what he did against the Raptors: 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Last 3 games, he's playing all right. That's all I'm saying.
He had
Last
to
3
say that
games.
so he can prop Kevin. You're
Crazy, bro.
Oh my God, Joel. Jesus Christ.
Is there a better chance he finishes the year with the Clippers or he gets fucking waived? Like, I'm being so serious, bro.
I think he finishes the year with the Clippers, honestly.
Fake has to, like, they don't have anybody else. Chris Dunn's been really good for them, too.
Yeah.
Chris Dunn has been good.
Obviously should not be in the NBA.
He keeps trying
But
to
you know,
say
we have to analyze the basketball that's being played.
I agree.
Understand? Same thing with Deshaun Watson. I mean, we were sure. Let's analyze how dog shit he is.
Same thing
Shouldn't
with
be in the
Josh
league.
Giddey.
Allegedly.
Apparently,
Yes.
he's in the clear. Allegedly,
He might
too.
be like the one that is not
Saved?
like actually in
I
this group for
wonder why he's
referral.
saved, bro.
No.
Cleano. Dehls, you fucking. That was the other,
Sometimes he. Nah, okay.
that was the other day in New York, fellas, and my brothers in the community. That was the other day in New York. Held the door for me all day.
Of course, I do that for anybody.
No, you do that for them. You never done that for me.
I do it for you every time.
Nah, you're the type to just step in front of me like, bro.
If I'm the first one to
He
go
doesn't
through
see
a
my
doorway,
8%.
I'm opening the door for everyone behind me.
Dehls was a good guy yesterday. I just wanted to give look, stop defending. I just
appreciate
wanted to
that,
give you
bro.
that
I
acknowledgement
appreciate
to the brothers in the community.
It means a lot coming from you.
I'm
And
going
he
with
listens to
the
G Herbo.
I'm going with the Clippers to win this group though.
I'm taking Rockets.
Rockets.
Wolves.
West Group B, OKC, the Suns, the Lakers, Jazz, and the Spurs.
Thank God we're not in this shit.
It's either the Suns or the Lakers. I say that where OKC does not
Hartenstein
have a
should
big,
be back.
but it's still 1 to 2 weeks. Like it's probably closer on the 2 week side. I'm gonna take the Lakers.
I'll go Suns.
The Suns have been playing really great ball, but the Lakers have played the Suns well in the 2 games that we've played against them. I'm gonna take the Lakers. Spoiler: my wild card is going to be the Suns.
I'll go Suns. I think they've been playing really good basketball. Oh no, Kevin
There's no
Durant is
Kevin
out.
Durant.
Oh my God, that's on me.
Kevin
That is
Durant's
on me.
D-Dirt.
There's no Chet for OKC.
That is on me.
You know, I'm
Thank
going with
you.
the Spurs.
Love that.
Going with the Spurs.
Because you've
If
been
the Lakers don't win this
because
shit,
you see what's been going on over there. You see that defense.
You see Chris Paul's leadership, huh?
That's
Okay.
the only thing you can
did
really
they just
say.
lose to the Jazz?
No, they just won
Did
by
he have-
20
did he
to the
score 0
Kings.
points the other
What's
game?
today?
That was yesterday.
Couldn't
Did
tell-
they play
couldn't-
back to back
you know, I
today?
don't
I
know.
don't think so.
No, they should be.
So with that being said, my Lakers are going to be my winner. My wild card is going to be Oklahoma City. I still think they're good
that
enough.
with Kevin Durant down, Chet down, I'll go with the Lakers.
OKC's so good, but
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go wild card with the Spurs. I think not having Chet could really affect them.
Wait, Lakers aren't winning?
What?
We're not winning our group?
Is Anthony Davis healthy?
It is an eye injury. I'm going to say he's going to be all right.
He had 3 points against
If he's
Utah.
healthy, then maybe I think about it. But I mean,
0 for
even
6.
with him, the defense has been not that good, right?
We still win ball games.
You've
I'm
been
not-
losing recently.
Yeah,
Not really.
You've been in kind of feel like a bit of skid.
We
no?
just won 2 in a row.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
Before that, little skid.
Oh, yeah, minus skid for sure. We're like 1 and 4.
I
JJ
got
Redick's
a-
not smashing chairs on the ground, right?
I'm not.
I got
So you
OKC.
don't like that?
I go OKC. I think Hartenstein.
So you didn't like it?
Hartenstein be
I
back
knew
in a
you
week or
didn't like
two.
it. You wouldn't have asked the question if
Run
you
with
didn't.
it.
If you liked it.
It wasn't the best look. I feel
My
like if that
God.
was anybody else, they'd be getting slandered.
Man, fucking angry as fuck. You know what? Low key though, because Odell Beckham was kicking fucking whatever it's called, the kicker's net, and they were calling him a diva. So I don't hate that statement.
If that was Doc Rivers, how is the world receiving it?
We are on a 2-game heater. Just saying. Doc Rivers sucks. He's dog
Let's
shit.
think about another young head coach. If that's the Raptors head coach on the sideline doing
Darko, is that his name?
Yeah.
Will Hardy.
that, Will Hardy.
If Joe Mazzulla did it, I think Twitter is fucking playing with it.
Yeah. Of course.
what did you think about just Reddick like getting the chair and
This is the second time you're asking him now.
It kills me.
It was mad funny.
It was funny because I like me coaching. I understand what he felt like when you're just player. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But you can't like yell it.
Yeah,
and I'm
just
coaching
doing some
like
dumb
I'm
shit.
coaching little kids, so it's a lot different. Like he's doing all that. I'm just like,
Bro, if you watch D'Angelo Russell do the fuck shit that he does on the court, you wouldn't tweet.
no, I'm not saying he shouldn't feel mad about it. Like in the inside, I'm sure he felt that way. It's just
Would you rather him get
expressing it to the outside. You know, slamming the chair. There's a little bit of a
How
tantrum.
do you
in
prefer
my opinion.
him
Definitely
to go
was a
about
tantrum,
that?
but fuck it.
How would you prefer your head coach go about that?
Get attack.
Just sub him out the game.
Oh, he did
Well,
that
he
too.
did. He did right away.
I know,
that
but
too.
I'm just like you. Just like
Do that and keep it pushing.
like just stand up, shake your head,
You know
sub him
what?
out the game.
I hate to hear this. God forbid we had
He's a
natural
competitor.
fucking
He
reactions.
couldn't
in the
hold. He
NBA
couldn't,
game.
he couldn't hold that
JJ, bro.
shit. D'Lo was trolling out there.
I'm just saying. I don't.
We used to break clipboards back in the day. We used to take balls and throw them at players back in the
Used
day.
to punch walls.
No, we used to break hands. We used to break our fucking hands. We used to fight wars. Now we're getting angry at a fucking throwing a chair.
Choke out Rudy Gobert and shit. You know what I mean?
That choke
did
out was a
happen.
devious, bro. He dragged him.
That's why
bro.
Draymond, you got to respect Draymond.
Draymond
I
was
fuck with Draymond.
the last group.
a real nigga right there.
No
West
cap.
West Group C, the Nuggets, Mavericks, Pelicans, Warriors, and Grizzlies.
Nuggets. Stop.
Nah, I got Golden State.
Stop.
What you mean stop?
I got
Golden
Golden
State. Who's stopping Yoke?
What the fuck?
They're nasty.
We're good.
They're not
stopping
He's scared
Yoke.
because we beat them.
They're
That's
nasty.
why he's saying that.
Did get smoked by the Cavs.
Cavaliers
the
fucking said,
game after.
"Come here, Papa."
That's what they do to us.
I
I'll
don't
be
care.
honest. They beat Boston in Boston. I'll give a fuck what you
And I'll tell you what, Nuggets are back. I'm leaving that there.
No, I don't disagree.
Nuggets are back.
Golden State is back. We're leaving that there.
I also agree. I think it's
gonna
gonna come down to
destroy
one of those two. The other one's my wild
We
card.
just beat OKC. Granted, Chet.
Listen, we know it's going to be Dallas. It's simple.
We play out tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Klay Thompson
You
is
wasn't-
big game.
That was a jinx. You wasn't supposed to say yeah because I
So
said yeah.
was.
So you a Dallas fan? I had to make sure.
That's my West team.
What
The
about
Mavericks.
The Wolves?
What about
Wolves.
Tim? Yo, you're done. Yo.
Ant-Man?
Yeah, the Mavericks and the Wolves are my West
You
team.
said
he's
you were
me
saying
for
Ant-Man
real.
over God, but now it's Mavs Nation.
Probably take Luka over God too.
Luka's been mid. Heavy mid. Kyrie Irving's been the best player on that fucking team.
Good. Hopefully he wish he would did that in the playoffs. Maybe in the finals they really needed him to do that.
That's a fucking.
Needed Luka too.
No cap.
Luka averaged like 30.
What was his blowout rate?
What was
Oh, you mean the
fucking
stat that like
shooting?
only was used for him
Yes,
in
that shit is-
in
that
NBA
never-
media history?
What
Yeah.
about when he fouled out?
Yo, what about PJ Washington
He's injured right now.
when he was playing
His last couple of games, he was all right for them.
in the offense?
Yeah.
Derek Lively's back tonight, I think.
He is. That actually moves me.
Oh, that is huge.
Yeah.
No, that moves me.
Actually
I
nervous
feel
as fuck.
better about my pick for them.
Now I
to
got
win
Golden
Group C.
State, man. You know I'm standing firm with them. They'll win it.
Yo, PJ Washington, he's been jujuing on the beat this season. Damn, bro. 23% from three. His defense is amazing. Straight face, his defense has been really good.
Warriors
good last
Warriors
year.
bounced back and beat the Thunder. They got smoked by the Cavs, but they beat Boston. They beat
I did
Thunder.
tell you guys, Cleveland is a
Chet got
god
hurt,
awful matchup for us. Like
I will also say, so is the Nuggets.
we played them tough.
is why I say
they've
I'm
never
taking the
beaten us
Nuggets.
like that.
No.
We played them tough.
Didn't they hit the buzz beater against y'all last year? That was
like
lit.
full court buzz beat after coming back from
that
20.
shit was nuts.
No,
Yeah.
they came back from 20. It honestly was
Is that
embarrassing.
Struce?
Bro, no,
No,
bro.
it was the Joker.
Yoke off
Big
the
ass
backboard.
in
Yeah.
a
what am
corner.
I-
Bro,
what Cleveland
half
was I
court
thinking?
is right here. He was in
Yeah.
a fucking
Yeah.
corner
Nah, he
and
snapped.
hit the three, bro.
It was lit.
Was it Struce at the game? The fucking
That
full
was
course
against
in
the Mavs.
Dallas.
That was against
Yeah.
that was against
That
Dallas.
was-
He was talking crazy. But yeah, Joker, big ass in a corner, hits the full court three, and I'm just like,
It's just Jokic. Man.
how did we blow the lead? That's where my heart was at. Like, but you know,
Steve Kerr, coach of the year.
yeah,
Low-key. Through
'cause
10
after
games?
fucking last year, he's most improved too.
I don't
John
know.
Mazzulla?
Kenny's up there.
Oh, Kenny. Facts.
But fucking he's top.
Kerr
two.
is most improved coach of the year.
most improved fast.
Fuck what he did last year.
No, he's comeback coach of the year.
that too, because that was abysmal what he did last
beating
year.
allegations coach of the year.
Yeah, we got Dallas tonight. Though. That's a tough. We got a little tough
Let's go Warriors.
little play cut.
Yeah,
thing.
Listen, you already these two games that you've won against Boston and against Thunder. That's already W.
We got to see, man, because Lively's
Boston,
back.
y'all were hurt.
Did JP?
We were
was
hurt
out.
too.
Was JP out? Yeah, JP was out.
We was missing pods and Mountain.
Shut the fuck up.
Mountain's solid for us. Don't sleep.
Melton is good.
Mountain is.
I've
Listen,
always
we
been
need
a
everybody.
fan
you
of
know?
Melton
We
since
need everybody, man.
watching him in college.
Yeah.
What college?
Don't ask me. I actually don't know.
It's between two.
Go ahead.
I think he might have
Hold
went
on.
to.
Wait. All right, who's it between?
Fuck it.
Yo, real shit. I don't know.
It's a weird college, bro. St. Bonaventure.
That's
Memphis?
That's an A10 division college, I think.
He went to USC.
Oh wow,
Oh shit! Wow. Yeah.
I knew that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I remember.
Who else with
looking at
USC?
it.
Bronny.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah,
Like
but not him.
what year?
Well, we were just talking about him.
Kevin Porter Jr.
There we go. Yes, sir.
There's a lot of players that went to USC.
Name another.
Drew went to UCLA.
Wait, hold on. Let me cook.
How do you say that?
Mark Sanchez. Drake London.
I meant NBA, but yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
basketball. It's just so much tougher to name those.
He's on the
basketball
Kings.
ones.
I think he's on the
Reggie
two-way.
Bush.
Reggie.
He's on the two-way, I think, right now.
USC used to be awesome.
USC used to be a movie.
They fell off.
Bad. It's okay, bro. You don't have to fight this ego.
Said he's on the Kings. Is he playing
It might be a two-way on the Kings, I believe.
I was just starting naming
Your
Kings
egos, come on. It's okay. You don't know. You're gonna
players. I don't know any either.
I'm trying to think.
I know, bro.
I feel like the names are there. I just can't.
It's a really boogie name.
Well, this can't be Keon Ellis. I don't think it's him.
That's your guy.
It's
dude.
Boogie Ellis, bro.
It's Keon Ellis.
No, it's Boogie Ellis, bro.
Oh, his name is Boogie Ellis.
Boogie Ellis. That's who. That's
You
what
know,
USC?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's why I
Yeah.
said it's a boogie name. You had Ellis, but you said Keon. I don't know where Keon went to. He might have went to VCU.
Wait, they're different people. Boogie and Keon.
Yeah, bro.
Oh. What the hell?
Yeah, Boogie Ellis is light skinned.
It's just a nickname.
Yeah, I don't know. He goes by Boogie Ellis.
Can you name?
DeMar DeRozan.
Oh, you're right. That's such an easy one. I can't believe I folded. Oh wow, there's actually quite a couple, dude.
Yeah.
There's quite a couple. Can you name USC players?
Fuck no. We said DeMar
There's two
in the league right now.
in the league right now that I think you could probably put a face to the team.
Oh, Mobley's.
Evan Mobley did go.
Both went.
There's somebody else that went that plays the center.
Isaiah.
position. Yep.
His
no,
brother.
but
Oh,
outside
oh,
of the Mobley family.
Oh, okay.
Actually, two more centers.
Did
yeah.
Taj Gibson go to USC?
He did go to USC.
Oh,
Shout out to you
nice.
for that. That's a good cook. That was the other guy.
Huh?
Was that the other guy?
No, there's two more.
Oh shit! I thought it was.
You should actually know these.
West or East?
Both East.
Both East. Who else?
You should know at one of these for sure.
Definitely should. USC is so trash.
We talked about him for a while in this podcast. He got into a pretty heated debate about it.
Booch.
Oh shit.
Vucevic did go to
Vucevic did
USC.
go to
I'm
USC.
crying.
And then the last player, Nick Young went to USC also, but he's not in the NBA. Onyeka.
Double O.
Wow, Yeka did go to USC. Yeah, I didn't know that. USC sucks. So I don't pay them too mind.
That's going to do it for episode 426 of the Pick Aside Podcast.
Didn't feel that way.
You guys can follow us on Twitter at Pick Aside Pod, on Instagram and TikTok at Pick Aside Podcast. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.